Welcome back to Never Watch Alone, and you are now in the month of Kaijun. And joining us is, as always, my good buddy Sean Wheeler. What's up, Sean? How you been?
Oh, I'm good. Let's see some monsters.
Hell yeah. And bringing us back is my old buddy Mike Wasser, who has always begged me to do some kaiju movies.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, man.
And yeah, man, I take it you're really excited to do this because
yeah.
And because now we're going to be doing all month long, we're going to be doing the MonsterVerse movies from Legendary, which are a lot better than most people give them credit for.
Oh,
honestly.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And to start it out, as you've clicked here, you've already seen the title. You know what you're in for. Gareth Edwards, Godzilla. So yeah, so I take it all three of us saw this in theaters,
Yes,
correct?
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I saw this in IMAX actually. I went because I think it was especially when you, Mike, when Pacific Rim came out.
Oh yeah. I talked about nothing else for weeks.
Nothing else. It was
Well,
it was
months, maybe even years.
It was adorkably annoying. Is how I characterized it. But yeah, I remember like you were hyping that up big time for me, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go see that one in IMAX. Went to go see it because I wanted to see giant motherfucking robots punch some giant motherfucking monsters on a giant motherfucking screen.
And guess what? That's what you saw.
Exactly. So I thought after seeing Pacific Rim and enjoying that so much, I thought, I gotta go see the new Godzilla movie in IMAX because there was an IMAX, an actual IMAX theater, not those stupid ass Limaxes, but an actual IMAX theater near my house, and I went to go see it. And you remember the one iconic shot where the flares go up and it all goes quiet and the entire leg fills the frame? I cannot articulate the kind of shit-spewing fear that I was experiencing sitting in that theater, because I sat a little bit closer because I like to look up at the screen, like actually physically hold my neck up like I'm looking up at this, and to see that leg take up the entire IMAX frame was terrifying. And it was awesome. There were some big crowd cheering moments. Like, it was a really good screening for me.
Hearing that makes me miss the IMAX I grew up with. There is an IMAX like about 50 minutes away from me, which I'll visit occasionally. But there is a special one that they have at like the Aerospace Museum in San Diego.
Nice.
And the top of it curves around.
Oh, it's the OmniMax. Right on.
So like watching stuff there is just like was always so cool. And it's like hearing moments like that, I'd love to see that there. And
dude.
You'll appreciate this. That's actually where I saw that the documentary, the IMAX documentary they did on the Titanic.
Yeah, I actually saw that one too myself.
Yeah, so seeing it as that kind of advice, it's like you feel like you're there. It's just like, I love it.
Absolutely. What about you, Mike? Where did you see Gareth
I believe
Edwards'
it was at a
Godzilla?
IMAX theater.
Oh, it was in IMAX.
I believe I did see it in IMAX. It was the one, the one that at the Green.
Oh, in near Dayton.
Yeah. I want to say that's where I saw it. I mean, to be honest, I didn't find the screening particularly memorable. This is going to color my entire, commentary here, but this is not one of my favorite movies.
Or at least not one of your favorite Godzilla movies anyway.
It's not. I find the movie dull and forgettable.
Okay, well, you're a hardcore fan, aren't you? You guys are both hardcore Godzilla fans, like really hardcore.
I'm apparently the more hardcore.
He is way more hardcore. I grew up loving Godzilla, but as I was explaining to him, I grew up watching all the original Godzilla movies. I didn't watch any of the subsequent reincarnations.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, there are basically 3 eras of Godzilla. There is the Showa era, which extended from the 50s to the 70s. That was of course, named for the emperor at the time. And then there's the Heisei era, of course, again, named for the emperor at the time. And that lasted from 85 to, I want to say, 96. 95, 96. Somewhere in that ballpark. And then that's when Columbia TriStar got the license, and Japan decided to stop for a while and let the Americans take over. Of course, we fucked it up.
Big time. Big time.
The problem was is someone decided to get Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin, which sounds like a good idea at first, but very quickly they were like, yeah, we don't know what this Godzilla thing is. We don't care. We're making our own movie.
Well, they kind of clearly showed, because the one good thing about the '98 Godzilla movie was like the teaser trailers leading up to it.
Yeah.
Like that was actually really fun, cool stuff. But when you look at it now, you're like, oh my god, those motherfuckers are just ripping off Jurassic Park.
Yep.
Like for real, that's what it was. I mean, they were cool.
Yeah.
But that's only because Spielberg was a competent director and worked on one of the most iconic movies of the 90s.
So anyway, upon seeing that, of course, the Japanese, Toho people would not stand for, that kind of
Didn't they
BS.
kill off Zilla?
Well, I'll get to there. 2 years later, '98 was when the Matthew Broderick movie came out. 2 years later, well, actually 1 year later in Japan, 2 years later in America, because it came out in '99 in Japan. So they cranked it out like that.
Yeah.
They came out with what was called in Japan as Godzilla Millennium. Over here, it was marketed as Godzilla 2000, and Columbia TriStar did release it here. It did not do well over here. For obvious reasons. You don't just release a Japanese movie in America and expect it to do well. And that was the start of the Millennium series, which is my introduction to Godzilla formally, because I was really big into the Angry Video Game Nerd and James Rolfe, and he did a series called Monster Madness every Halloween. And 1 year, he did a Monster Madness on every single Godzilla movie. And I was very taken by his comments on the stupidest titled one ever: Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, giant monsters all out attack. Which is
That's a mouthful.
to this day my favorite Godzilla movie. I could get into a lot of reasons why, but I think it's the best Godzilla movie since the '50 movie and before the Shin Godzilla, which is the current best.
Right.
But you did a lot of really cool stuff. So I watched that, and then I watched the rest of the Millennium series, and then I started dipping into the Heisei series, and I'm bumping the camera or mic. Anyway, and then I went into the rest of the Heisei series, which the Heisei series is the most anime. That's when you have like psychic girls and souls and beam weapons
Wasn't
and
there
aliens.
like a twins thing?
Well, no, you're getting back to Mothra in the
okay.
60s.
Okay.
And then I started watching some of the Showa era stuff on like bad VHS rips.
Oh gosh.
But then came the Criterion Collection.
Yeah. Oh. All our cinephiles bow to the almighty Criterion Collection.
They wrangled the rights to distribute every single Showa era movie in one gorgeous set. And I spent over $200 on that gorgeous set of Blu-rays.
You splooged on that DVD box set in more ways than one.
So often, I mean, I obviously love for Criterion Collection, have so much of that stuff, but at the same time, I lament the fact that there are amazing movies that you're just like, this is perfect for the Criterion Collection, and clearly they can't get the rights. You're just like,
Yeah.
no!
And the Showa era Godzilla movies is a miracle because they have both the Japanese version and the American version of Kong vs. Godzilla. King Kong vs. Godzilla is what it was called. And that's amazing because Universal has the rights to the American version and Toho has the rights to the Japanese version. So they had to play nice for that.
Right.
And it was the same issue with the Japanese and American versions of the original Godzilla from '54. They had to get rights from two different companies, and it's just the rights to Godzilla movies are a mess. And of course, Kong's even more tangled. There's a reason why they can't call Kong King Kong.
We'll get to that next
but
week
anyway,
on Kong versus
so
Godzilla.
That's
Skull
my
Island.
Godzilla overview. I'll talk about the twins when we get to King of the Monsters.
There's so much history to be talked over the next month. To be honest,
And a lot of it I'll be talking during King of the Monsters, because King of the Monsters is such a love letter to classic.
yeah.
Classic Showa era Godzilla.
Yeah. Now, I guess the last question I gotta ask before we start is: a lot of people have always been really divided about this movie because it's like, oh, there's not enough monster in it, or that, oh wow, that's really restrained. I really like that. What camp do you guys fall under? Sean, actually, I'm really most curious about you because I'm 90% sure of what. Actually, 97%.
No.
Sure
I'm
of what
100%
Camp
in the camp of more Godzilla. Like, I understand what he was trying to do here, but guess what? If I'm watching a Godzilla movie, I want to see Godzilla fuck shit up. I don't want to see a Jaws version of Godzilla where you tease the monster for an hour. I don't want it.
Okay, that's
however,
fair.
I will also say I have a few prejudices here, which I do have to acknowledge. First off, I cannot take the lead seriously because at this point in time when this movie came out, I was just very much still like, kick-ass?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's like, and don't get me wrong, like I'm all for people transitioning to more serious acting roles. Like I don't try to pigeonhole actors. And I'm not saying you can't have serious roles in a Godzilla movie. Obviously, Ken Watanabe is amazing, Bryan Cranston. But the whole point is they had established their credibility and their acting chops before doing Godzilla. I don't feel Godzilla's the place you go to be like, I'm a serious actor. Buddy.
No,
like,
no.
That's not going to work here. Sorry. Particularly when you immediately go to like, hey, look, I run fast. Like, that's your next role. Like, back to juvenile kid boy. I'm just like, oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's because he's the one that you spend most of the movie with, and you're totally right.
Yeah, you don't care. Like, you just don't care. You're just like, okay, Godzilla. Can I have Godzilla? Like, little bit. Like,
what makes it even more frustrating is that they marketed it so differently. Like, we thought, oh, Aaron Taylor Johnson, like, maybe he's not going to be that. No, he's our main protagonist instead of what was supposed to be. Like, all the trailers were like Heisenberg versus Godzilla. Like, that was going to be the big thing, and it totally wasn't. Which I'm really disappointed because, dude, like everyone, I remember when How It Should Have Ended came out with theirs. They had Bryan Cranston in his pork pie, and he goes, "Say my name," and then Godzilla roars in his face, like whipping off his hat, and then as soon as he's done, and he's like, "You're Godzilla, right?" It was amazing, and I was like, God, that should have been the movie. That should have been the movie.
Yeah, it's as I said, like, I don't.
Yeah, it's frustrating because I personally I'm in the camp that I actually like the Jaws approach. Like, I think it's actually a really different way to do things, and it's actually very bold. So I applaud that, but at the same time, I'm like, do you know how frustrating it is to have these big battles hyped up, and all you see is news footage of it in the background? Like, I get that frustration. I really do.
And we might as well get into it, because otherwise I'm going to start complaining right now about the movie bullshit for how he gets around.
Oh, there's so much movie bullshit in this movie.
So,
yes.
My perspective on this, because it has a lot more nuance. Quite frankly, if you're expecting me to say I need more Godzilla in this movie, you might be surprised to find that no, I don't think there needs to be more Godzilla movie by numbers. If you're looking at screen time, there's probably just as much Godzilla in this movie as any of the Showa era movies.
Yeah, like.
But the problem is the movie is not about Godzilla.
It's about this guy trying to go from place to place.
And when it's not about him, it's about these other monsters I don't care about. Nobody really cares about them.
Fuck the Mudos, right?
Nobody knows. They're not even supposed to be called the Mudos. That's a generic designation for any giant monster.
Yeah, I know. Massive unidentified terrestrial organism.
My problem with this movie is not that it doesn't have enough Godzilla in it. My problem is that what it has instead is boring and uninteresting.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Shin Godzilla is a great example of. I mean, I doubt anyone's really seen that who's listening to this, but the majority of that movie is about bureaucracy and the failings of Japanese bureaucracy, and that's fine because they make that interesting.
Yeah, but and again, what they make it interesting, but what makes it work is they're not just cutting to newsreels; they're cutting to the actual attacks and then cutting back to the bureaucracy. So yeah, you don't need that much screen time necessarily of what's going on, but you need it, and the story needs to be about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think we've talked enough, and I'm pretty sure people are getting impatient and want us to start the motherfucking movie already. So, folks at home, if you're watching, like, is this streaming on HBO Max still?
No,
It
they
should
took
be,
it
yeah.
off.
They took it off?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
they literally they put out the new movie. They left the movie up and the MonsterVerse movies on there for like a month, and then we're like, all right, it's all gone. Like the old, they still have like old Godzilla stuff on there, but like all the new stuff, nope.
Well, pick up a DVD. They're cheap.
Yeah, DVD or Blu-ray, one of the two. And as we always like to point out, the internet is a vast place. So have your movie queued up because we are about to start this bad boy in 3, 2, 1, click. And here we go. Warner Brothers logo. And I believe, it's actually kind of amazing. This was at, like, sort of at the peak of Legendary Pictures, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, no, this was like right after Pacific Rim
And the Batman movies.
Yeah, the Batman
like,
movies.
Legendary was kind of fucking ruling the fucking world at this
I
point.
mean, honestly, they're
in
still
tentpole
doing pretty
movies.
well for themselves.
They are still doing really well, and I really, really hope that they continue the MonsterVerse.
Yeah,
I really hope so.
There's certain studios where it's like you see the logo and you kind of know, like, you might not be in for a good movie, but you're going to be entertained.
Yes.
Oh, something people don't talk about enough. This opening was very clearly inspired by the Roland Emmerich movie.
Was it? I actually
Because the Roland Emmerich movie starts with stock footage of nuclear tests.
okay, because I tried to avoid that one. Like,
No, I totally understand.
This is definitely, though, I mean, I did enjoy this opening intro. I thought this was
Right.
well done.
Oh,
I-
and the score?
oh yeah,
Great.
the score is fucking cool.
I was and still am super disappointed that they don't include the Akira Ifukube theme at any point in this movie. I think that was a huge mistake.
Are you sure? I could, because I
No,
could have sworn
it's not in the movie at all.
I distinctly remember hearing the da 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 da.
No, it's not.
Really?
You can kind of hear echoes like they're trying to quote it a little bit, but it's not fully there. It's cock teasing me the whole fucking time, and I hate it.
Okay, that's fair.
Because
But
I mean, you can kind of hear it in the da da dun da da dun
Yeah,
da da dun, but it's not the theme.
I mean, it's for look. I've seen the original Godzilla, so I feel like I kind of know what I'm
Right.
talking about. But
And also,
it was there for me.
And also, it's missing the bom 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 bom.
Okay, now that I can't defend.
Bom 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 bom.
But
That's
I do
the
like
best
the.
part.
I really like the. That's really cool.
Oh yeah,
though.
the anti-Godzilla bomb is really cool. Yeah, that's good foreshadowing because it foreshadows the whole they were trying to kill him thing.
Yes.
That's really cool.
I also really do dig the whole redacted kind of
No,
credit style.
and I really love that it's made rewatches so much more fun. Especially King of the Monsters has a lot more little fun
Easter eggs
and
shit.
details.
Yeah, there's a lot of you can
And
shove into that.
Fucking great title card
Oh.
too.
The title card's fucking cool.
Yeah, no, it's fucking great.
Did you hear about Gareth Edwards and what a big Godzilla fan he actually is?
I mean, if he is a big Godzilla fan, he doesn't show it in this movie.
Wow. Ooh, that's some shots fired, man.
Well, but again, that's also the point. He's a big Godzilla fan, but he's also a big Jaws fan. As you decide to make Jaws Godzilla, and unfortunately, Godzilla fans don't want Jaws Godzilla.
And also, let's not probably acknowledge like the insane amount of hula hoops for the rights and all
Also,
all that shit.
let's give all the props in the world to Ken Watanabe for insisting that he actually say Gojira instead of Godzilla.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
thank God.
I enjoy that actually a lot.
You know, it's really funny. If you have the Criterion Collection version of the original movie, the commentary is by a film historian, and he's detailing basically the differences between the American and the Japanese version. And he spends like a solid third of the first part of the American version commentary explaining why Godzilla is a perfectly acceptable name for the monster, and fighting over the name is stupid.
Right, but it's not a matter of I have an issue with Godzilla.
Right.
It's a matter
I know,
of
it's just-
he's Japanese. I want
Yeah.
that homage.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just that you commenting that reminded me, and I just thought it was a really amazing. But this film historian is like defending the use of Godzilla as a name for the monster, and I'm like, this is great. It's when you know it's like, these are my people kind of thing.
Right.
Right. Not gonna lie though, so this is supposed to take place in 1999. I'm actually kind of curious. Why didn't they just do 1998? Just so that they could just have like a little bit of a jab at Roland Emmerich. I mean, I don't know. It feels like a little missed opportunity there.
Yeah.
This scene is actually really cool.
Yeah, kaiju movies do need more of kaiju remains exploration.
Yeah, for real. And I really dig all of this, especially with, the radiation suits and everything. That just...
It's very Alien.
Yes! Thank you. That's what I was trying to articulate.
It's definitely visually quoting Alien.
Totally, dude. Like the suits.
Which, I mean, I will never have a problem with when you're dealing with, some other species. Like, that's a fine movie to give, reference and homage to.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
But I love that we're in the spinal column because
this looks so good.
Well, as you remember, like if you ever watched those Alien movies, like he always designed the hallways to look like you're walking through a spinal column.
Yep.
And God bless Geiger.
Yeah.
For real, dude. God rest his soul, man. He designed like some of the greatest nightmares of film history.
Yeah. Now that I'm really thinking back to that first theater experience with this movie, I think I was still on the movie side for a lot of it, and then kind of once the movie ended is when I hated it.
Like this opening, it's a solid opening. Like,
I mean,
yeah, for real. Hell, even when it cuts away to Bryan Cranston and the shit that's going on in Japan.
Such a compelling character too.
Right. And he barely lasts a third of the movie. Like, how lame is that? It really should have been. You know what? I think all of us can agree that this movie, instead of Aaron Johnson jumping around, it should have been about Bryan Cranston running around.
Yeah, and they should have focused on government cover-up and not trying to get to another place in America. Like, if Bryan Cranston was like in fact, they kind of used this plot for Godzilla vs. Kong, where you had a whistleblower character, and that would have been more interesting if Bryan Cranston was more like focused on being a whistleblower and finding out about Godzilla. I think it would have been a much more compelling movie.
But nay.
Then I need to get to San Francisco so I can see my wife and son.
Oh, also we gotta have San Francisco because just like every other fucking disaster movie, we have to destroy the Golden Gate Bridge.
I appreciate the poster. I will give them the poster.
The poster's cool. Yeah, the poster's cool.
That is like a classic giant monster movie poster, but it's made original for the design of the Mutos, and I dig it.
Oh, gee, the dad that doesn't have time for the son.
This isn't cliche at all.
This isn't Spielberg at all, right?
Oh, it's even shot like a Spielberg movie right now.
Jeez. It is. Like, it's always from the kid's point of view. Even, like, where they do that thing that Spielberg does where he has the camera lower so it's at the kids' eye levels and not the adults. Although it's weird because from the parents' perspective, it's always a little bit higher. Which, I mean, I guess makes sense, but consistency is what makes Spielberg.
Right. What kind of a line is that?
Oh.
I don't like unexplained frequency pattern. Like, what the hell?
There's a fly in the meth lab, Jesse. We have to get rid of it because it's a contaminant. It would have been really too coy, but just having Aaron Paul show up for just a stupid little cameo as like a lab assistant, that would have been. It would have been a little too much, I think. But have him just like for like a walk-on role in the background, where hell, you don't even have to recognize him, but just have him on set there, like that would have been fun.
Yeah, cute.
Honestly, I have such a level of respect for Bryan Cranston because, I mean, he could have just fucked right off after Malcolm in the Middle with the pile of money he had,
Yeah.
But like he's like, no, like I love what I do, and I want to find interesting ways to keep doing my craft, and just really put himself out there and showed his chops, and it's just so great.
Yeah, dude, seriously, after Breaking Bad, he was kind of like hailed as one of the best actors of his time at that point.
And
Yeah.
you mentioned Malcolm in the Middle, which reminds me of an interesting bit of trivia
Oh,
regarding Bryan Cranston's casting in this movie. Gareth Edwards admitted that he didn't really know anything about Breaking Bad and cast Bryan Cranston primarily because he was the dad in Malcolm in the Middle.
Huh.
Which to Gareth Edwards, if he's listening, I doubt, but to Gareth Edwards, I have to say, where the hell were you for the television event of the century? Like, oh my God, that was some of the best television we've ever gotten. My God, where the hell were you?
Well, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I knew about Breaking Bad, but I don't think I started watching it till season 5. Like, I just binged the earlier ones and didn't jump in till then. So,
Yeah, I mean, I admit I was late for it too. I didn't actually see the final episode when it aired. I just watched it on my own time. But yeah, Jesus Christ, that was one of the most intense binges of my life. My
not
God.
seen any of Breaking Bad.
Really? You haven't? Oh, dude, give it a binge. Seriously. Like, the first 3 seasons are kind of a slow burn with their highlights, but it all comes back. Like, the last 2 seasons, holy shit, they're nuts. And and Bryan Cranston really carries that shit, man. I do like the fact that Bryan Cranston actually does speak Japanese in here. And now we get our... I think does this qualify as an action sequence?
I think it qualifies.
Okay, so...
There's definitely tension.
Yeah, because we are what? We are 11 minutes into this movie, and we're getting a fair action sequence here.
I would never complain that this movie doesn't have enough action. It's just that the action doesn't really have a lot of impact because we're not given much of a reason to care.
Well, in this case, we are, I think.
I mean, maybe. We have a little bit.
In this isolated sequence, just because it's so character-driven, you know? Especially with, Bryan Cranston's character and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a matter of fact, I think I remember Quentin Tarantino saw this sequence, and he actually kind of teared up when his wife died.
It's pretty impressive.
I know, right? Like, Quentin Tarantino's like, holy shit. I never cry at big Hollywood blockbuster movies, but this movie got me for some reason. So I don't know. Maybe Gareth Edwards was just doing something right.
Be a first.
Okay. Well.
I mean, okay. I should explain a little bit every time I snark about Gareth Edwards. I didn't like Rogue One either.
Really?
I find his filmmaking very, very sterile and uncharismatic.
I really liked Rogue One, but I had very personal reasons for that. If you guys want to check out my commentary for Rogue One, there's a link in the description below. You know what? I think the reason why Quentin Tarantino kind of teared up, it's Bryan Cranston's performance.
Oh, his performance is impeccable.
Like, my God. Dude, why hasn't this... one day, this guy's going to win an Oscar.
Oh, unquestionably.
For sure. Like, he is well on his way to winning an Oscar. This is actually a pretty cool shot.
Yeah, it is cool.
So, is it weird I get a laugh every time he slaps the button while screaming?
His facial expression's a bit goofy, yeah.
There's a little bit of, like, that dark, subtle, like, that very darkly subtle sense of humor that Breaking Bad had. It's like, oh my God, I'm gonna die! Yes! Yeah, this scene. And it's the part where she takes off the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just like, yeah, it's all gone. You gotta love the dramatically slow doors, though. Am I right?
There's a lot of like visual stuff going on here because she removes the mask in an attempt to remove one of the many barriers that's currently between them, and then a barrier is closing in, so it's like highlighting how futile that is. Anyway, it's just I criticism brain just kind of snapped there. And was
well,
like,
again, that's just we can chalk that up to the many bits of movie bullshit.
Yeah.
But in reality, I still acknowledge that bullshit in movies is like glue. It's bullshit is what holds movies together sometimes.
And this is also really cool. And this actually reminds me very much of a shot from Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah Giant Monsters All Out Attack. I will say the whole title every time. Where soon after Godzilla first appears, you actually don't see him use his nuclear breath for the first time. You hear it. It cuts to these students in school. They look out the window. Mushroom cloud.
Cool.
It's fucking badass.
Cool.
And then everyone starts panicking. So yeah, that reminds me very much of that scene. And maybe Gareth Edwards was directly quoting that. I still doubt that he's a huge Godzilla fan. But beside the point.
Man, I wonder if there is a director's commentary. Like, maybe you should listen to that, and maybe you'll get like a weird perspective on it.
Maybe.
I
just feel like any Godzilla fan would make a Godzilla movie about Godzilla.
You know, honestly, I really think that Gareth Edwards was trying to go for that, but because, well, let's be honest, Hollywood filmmaking is all about getting to some place, whereas in the East, especially in Japan and places like that, stories are often about being there. You know,
I can see your point.
Because you see that a lot in anime and a lot of manga in terms of storytelling. In the East, it's always been about being somewhere, where in the West, it's usually about, okay, we got to get to this place now.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was.
Yeah, kind of an ideology of, we want to talk about the journey. They want to talk about just being in the moment.
Yes, exactly. And I think, and plus because Hollywood is so plot and goal-oriented storytelling, that they specifically commissioned a script to follow that format. And I think that's what whether it was conscious or unconscious, because some people just fall into that habit.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably what it was, and why it doesn't feel like it's about Godzilla. It's about this poor schmuck.
Well, it's actually
incidentally, can we just like get the incense jokes out of the way now, because this is awkward.
Right, yeah, no. Yeah.
Maximov.
Yeah, I get it now. Yeah. They do look like siblings.
Burn this part.
Yeah.
Why did they cast? Oh, look, I know that this movie came out first,
right?
Because they had like a little bit of a tease in Winter Soldier, where it's like the twins, like they will change everything, but. Dude, could you have, like, please recast one of these actors? Like, for real, because, we watched, Age of Ultron a year later, and we look back on this, and, like, this is really creepy. Like, I wouldn't, look, I get it, it's actors, like, it's all make-believe. I get that. It's cool. But the fact that they came out so close together is what makes it weird.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but apparently the director was very specific about the actors he wanted for this movie, and went out of his way to get them. And it's I can appreciate a director who has a vision like that, but I'm just like,
yeah, it was really bad timing. Like, I imagine he's like one of those many film directors who are like, man, fuck Marvel. They've been fucking up my shit. But you know what? I just really wish that I probably would have recast Aaron Johnson.
Oh yeah, no, unquestionably.
Because he's not an interesting protagonist here, and I know he's a good actor, so he can be better than somewhere else.
Right.
But I can see why Gareth Edwards really wanted Elizabeth Olsen to be in this, because she had done a couple of indie horror movies when she was first starting out, and that's where Gareth Edwards, started out in the indie horror scene.
Yeah.
So if he had cast, Johnson, not cast Johnson and gotten someone else, this would feel a lot better, I think.
Yeah, and again, I don't have a problem with him in general. Just for me, it's like my only awareness of him prior to this had been Kick-Ass, and the second Kick-Ass movie was what, a year at most, I think, before this one. So it's just like, oh boy, like I can't take you all that seriously.
Yeah, it's really hard when you've killed a man with a flying jetpack and minigun. It's really hard to take it seriously.
I would like to say, I want the movie to shift at this point to that kid. That's who I'm interested in.
Right? Actually,
right?
Yeah.
It's like, who are you? What did you do? Because I want to know.
It's one of those little extra moments, like, hang on, whoa, what's going on here? Was there like a deleted scene that I missed? Explain, movie.
And yeah, no, movie still got me fully on board at this point because holy shit, this is some good shit. I love the idea of a Godzilla movie that's a government conspiracy movie.
Yes.
And we don't
Seriously,
get that.
it should have been about Cranston.
Right, there's so many ways it could have gone with this, and here we are.
Yeah, but I think I still blame a little bit more of the screenwriter on this than Gareth, because I still say Gareth Edwards really handles this, directorially speaking, fairly well.
I suppose. But yeah, definitely Ford needed a more charismatic actor because the role has no charisma.
No,
so
it really
you need
doesn't.
an actor who has charisma to bring charisma to the screen.
Yeah, and I don't want to say, I don't want to piss off Aaron Johnson, but it's
too
not.
Much,
I'm
too
sorry.
Much, too much.
It's not. Yeah, you got honestly, I don't really see that as his his fault or anything. I think it's like just bad casting, personally.
Yeah. Also, as a fan of MonsterVerse in general, as much as I've been shitting on this movie, as a fan of MonsterVerse in general, I do love how they introduced the bioacoustics concept off the bat.
Oh, actually, you're right, dude. They carry that over for the rest of the movies,
of the franchise.
Wow, you're totally right.
Well, except for Kong Skull Island doesn't have any bioacoustic stuff in it.
It
but,
was the 70s.
Right.
This was before that.
Yeah. But no, I adore how they're like they latched onto bioacoustics as a core scientific concept for how they deal with monsters,
and it's
they
a cool concept.
And they stick with it. I really really respect the franchise.
It's a cool concept too.
Yeah.
Like we haven't seen that in any of them, and it feels plausible.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing about this movie is like they really went out of their way to make it plausible by having that philosophy that Phil Tippett was talking about when he was doing dinosaurs for Jurassic Park. Is like, we can't think of these things as just movie monsters. We have to be respectful to the physiology and the for lack of a, because I just got off of Mortal Kombat again, animality of these creatures that we have to think of them as animals and not monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And that applies here too, and I think it really, really works, especially in the design choices for Godzilla in this movie. Did you guys hear about all the fat shaming shit?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
I want to take a moment because one thing, while I'm not a fan necessarily of this plot, one thing I do like though is that like at least this plays, and by that I mean, like as a child who experiences it is like that kind of situation, you're gonna have to move on. Like you cannot make it your life. But like as a husband and father who is both your career and the love of your life, like you lose the love of your life. This is what you have done for your life's work. It completely plays that it would become an obsession.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know what? Maybe the son should have been the one who died in the third of the movie.
I honestly think so.
That would have been really compelling because you took my wife, then you took my son. I'm coming after you, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, it would be really funny if like he just, it's so cartoony, but then he just takes up the M60 and just starts firing away.
Well, what's great is that story feeds naturally into a narrative critical of revenge, because obviously Bryan Cranston can't do anything against Godzilla.
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, that image of him shooting a handheld human weapon at the giant monster would be perfect for communicating that.
Well, there was an M60 involved in the finale of Breaking Bad.
Okay, well, whatever. But
I'm sorry.
My point still stands. Like from just a raw storytelling perspective, that would really work. And then you have this sort of thing where it's like, what he really has to do is just move on and not stay in this spiral of revenge.
Yeah.
And that would have been a great story. I would love that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if it had the exact same amount of Godzilla, even if it still kept cutting away, I'd be like, well, at least it gave me a compelling character.
Yeah, and honestly, that's so much about, I don't even necessarily think that, his obsession is about needing the answers. Like, I don't necessarily think he would have even been that hard so much on a revenge trip as like, well, at least now I know. You know what I mean? Closure's a lot easier to have if you have, like, a level of explanation behind it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I have a feeling that Bryan Cranston probably would have requested that his character dies at the end of this movie anyway, just so he can avoid to go back for a sequel.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Because
you might want to be like, all right, doing a Godzilla movie sounds fun. I don't want to be under contract.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
Because, you look at all the Marvel shit, and you look at all the contracts, especially for characters like Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
It's insane. It's insane.
Well, but at the same time, what he was able to negotiate per movie is insane too. So
yeah, no kidding.
Well, and also, Godzilla has never been known for consistent quality. You don't want to be under contract in a Godzilla movie.
Right.
No.
Because one movie could be fucking brilliant, the very next movie could be complete and utter shit.
Yeah. But in a weird way, we kind of got that in that, what was it? Desirable inconsistency with this
I will say I
Yeah,
love
I agree.
some
Absolutely.
of the visuals here just because it's like, I don't know, to me, there's definitely, like, with that shot they just had with the building and stuff there, it feels like a throwback to Akira. It really
It's
does.
The Last of Us.
It's The Last of Us meets Akira.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing, actually.
I have to own up. I've never had a PlayStation, so I've just never been on to The Last of Us.
I mean, I've just seen a lot of gameplay footage, and there's a lot of just, a lot of plants overgrowing buildings and stuff like that. So.
And now I got to make a Toy Story reference. The air isn't toxic? How dare you remove a Space Ranger's helmet? My eyeballs could have been sucked from their sockets.
There's also a Prometheus joke somewhere in here, but I'm
there?
not. I don't know, possibly.
Well,
I'm trying to figure one out about the helmets and air and.
If there was, it probably was in that opening sequence where they.
I'm not saying there's one in the movie. It's just in the situation. There's room to make a joke about Prometheus and taking.
I
off
like
the
that
helmets
little bit of
and
foreshadowing.
I
there.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Like that's the bits like that. I'm like, okay, there's some love here, and I knew I wasn't expecting to see Mothra in this movie because honestly, I wasn't even expecting they'd do Mothra right in the sequels, but. I can be surprised.
I was actually super confused, like a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Like when the thing spread wings, I'm like, "Wait, are they doing Mothra? Is that Mothra?"
I thought actually my first thought was Rodan.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, yeah, because Rodan has flesh wings.
Okay. Well, yeah, but isn't he like a fire thing?
Well, sometimes.
Oh, okay. So it's the inconsistency is ridiculous. I do like this little bit of foreshadowing. This is actually really good character building. Like he's a little toy soldier and all grown up. He even looks like his action figure.
He does.
Like maybe that's why he cast him. So he could get the action figure shot because all action figures are super boring and generic.
There you go.
There it is. That's why he
the
cast
reason.
him.
That's why I cast the worst. Well, not the worst possible choice, but a pretty bad choice.
Well, I wouldn't call it a bad choice, really, because look, I've seen so much worse casting in movies, but it is not a good choice. It was not the best choice. Oh, shit.
He done gone get cotted.
Oh, they found their facility now. No, they're containing something. Ah, shit. Now they got caught.
Yeah.
I really do like again, they do keep like the authentic Japanese stuff in.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
It feels a bit perfunctory to me. Mostly because I don't necessarily think that Godzilla has to be connected so intimately with Japanese culture.
Okay.
I mean, it can, and there's nothing wrong with it, but, you know. Mostly because Godzilla as a concept has changed so much, you really can't say Godzilla is this one thing or this other thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
you
but
can
that's going to
literally
happen
go-
with any
Right.
franchise intellectual property that has been ongoing for 60 plus 70
60
years.
now.
70
70 now?
years.
Almost.
54.
Yeah.
Yeah, so almost, yeah.
70 years and 25.
Wow. In 3 years time, man.
Yeah.
Godzilla is going to be 70 years old. That's nuts.
And the franchise has had pretty consistent releases. At least one a decade.
At least. And the tone is wild very
Oh, yeah, no.
Like we could have anything from like, you know, a dude in a rubber suit that actually looks rather imposing to one that looks like a Barney suit.
Right. Yeah. And I would say this is probably tonally the darkest Godzilla movie.
Really? Tonally the darkest?
I mean,
Because I thought Shin Godzilla was.
It's competing very closely with the 54 movie in this case.
Oh,
Shin
okay.
Godzilla, it's kind of got this dark comedy sound to it.
Oh, it does.
Or feel to it.
I still need to see.
You do need to see it.
I do. I really do. Everyone keeps telling me Shin
do need to
Godzilla is
see it.
amazing.
But it's kind of got this dark comedy feel to it. But I think the only reason that this feels darker to me than the 54 movie is because the 54 movie still has Dr. Serizawa being a bit of a mad scientist.
Ah, okay. And here in Serizawa in this one is a little bit more.
Well, one, he's not the same Serizawa. I don't want to conflate
yeah.
those characters. But anyway, but yeah, no. There is no mad scientist in this movie. And Serizawa is a sympathetic mad scientist, but he's still kind of
Bryan
fills that
Cranston is
archetype.
actually the closest thing to a mad scientist.
Right.
But he's 100% in the right.
Oh yeah, no, he's fully sane. Yeah, and you know, it's his behavior is born out of tragedy, and God, he's about to leave the movie in just a couple scenes.
I know, it sucks. Like, come on, man. Where's our Heisenberg v. Godzilla? Like, dude, it was right there, you guys.
Also, Vera Farmiga, I think, is underutilized in this movie.
Who is?
Vera Farmiga. She's the one standing next to Serizawa. She takes a bigger role in King of the Monsters.
Yeah, and she is. Yeah, she's a great actress who I've always just kind of been like, why are you in Godzilla movies? Like,
well, she's the second best part of King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
Human actor.
Yeah,
Second best
yeah.
human
I mean,
actor.
I would agree, but again, my whole thing with King of the Monsters is just like, must we have humans?
I have good words to say on that. We'll get to that when we get to that. I love King of the Monsters. We'll just start with that, and we'll leave it at that for now.
Oh,
It's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening. He is channeling Heisenberg so
Yes.
fucking hard.
And I almost wonder if this is not a Transformer is kind of being a big FU to what most people think of with giant, you know, robots and monsters is the Transformers movie franchise.
That actress currently there is not Vera Farmiga.
Oh, that's not Vera Farmiga?
No.
No, okay.
I know her
misremembered.
face, and I'm like, that's
Okay.
not her.
Huh.
Who is that then?
Oh, it's
I'm
so
pretty sure
cool.
Vera Farmiga was in this one though.
We have the emergence of not Mothra.
No, you're right. That isn't Vera Farmiga. Was Vera Farmiga in this one? Oh no, it's Sally Hawkins.
Ah.
Yeah, no, I get them confused sometimes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when I saw the face, I'm like, oh yeah, that's not her. Not at all.
Yeah, no, that's Sally Hawkins. That's right. She was in Shape of Water. That's what I'm remembering her from.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. They do kind of look a little similar to me, Vera
Little
Farmiga
bit.
and Sally Hawkins. Anyway,
This is a really cool sequence, though.
this is a cool sequence.
Also, you really got to hand it to the production value for this. Because even though the CG isn't that great in some shots, it's actually really good in a lot of others.
I would say the CG overall in this movie is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got all these fucking extras running around. We got this containment facility. This is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, no, this is very slick.
And I also really dig the sound design.
Oh yeah.
Not gonna lie, because I actually remember like a buddy of mine wanted to watch this, and I have these big Kenwood speakers, these old beautiful Kenwood speakers that have these almost like a theater level presence, and he hadn't seen it, and I'm like, oh dude, you should check it out, it's actually pretty cool, but you got to see it at my place because I got the kick-ass sound system that will do it justice.
Yeah.
So we wound up watching in the dark because, as you know, noticed very quickly, this is a very dark movie.
Yeah.
Like
Not just tonally.
No, visually
Yeah.
speaking. Like, it's going off of, like, that Batman Begins kind of shit, where, you know, it's just very dark and shadowy and whatnot. So we had to watch this in the dark with very loud speakers in order to fully appreciate this movie. But, yeah, man, like, and there were moments where he's like, dude, I got chills because that was fucking cool. And if we watch this, like, on, you know, just, like, a 40-inch screen with out of its own speakers, we wouldn't have had the same effect. It really isn't. This is designed for, like, a big theater experience because it is giant motherfucking monsters punching each other, and you want to see that on a giant motherfucking screen.
Well, it's about 7 minutes of giant monsters punching each other.
Well, it's more like 11, but you're right. The point is, when those scenes do happen on a giant motherfucking screen, it's fucking awesome.
It's fucking cool. Yeah,
yes.
No.
The EMP stuff is actually really cool too.
Yeah.
I like how that they're
It's
utilizing...
a neat idea. If Pacific Rim didn't do it first. Boom. I would not be surprised actually if Gareth Edwards was kind of cribbing some notes.
You know, I probably just.
I mean, just because Pacific Rim was so fucking good, you know.
It was like stupid good at that point.
Yup.
It really was like it was that generation's Independence Day, really.
Oh yeah, no, totally. It's just a shame that it's not received financially as well.
I guess it's because you know, it really is like when you look at it, it's you know that it's dumb.
Yeah, it's
dumb
as a box
but
of
it is
rocks.
the best dumb awesome movie ever made.
Yeah.
Or the best dumb. The most awesome dumb movie ever made, depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
This is a really cool shot, though. This actually feels like a shot from War of the Worlds.
Yeah, I see it.
From Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, no, this actually does kind of have that same
With the tripod
aesthetic.
Yeah,
the whole movie kind of has the same aesthetic as Spielberg's War of the Worlds.
You know what? Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
And it also kind of has the same plot.
Oh my! Well,
I mean, not really, but kinda.
No, not really. I mean, you could argue that Godzilla is the invasive species that wipes the Muto out,
right?
And not bacteria.
Yeah, but it's the. But what I'm saying is that it's about someone trying to connect back up with their family, in a
the backdrop of this giant disaster.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell, I can see even if this movie had like super ridiculous highlights.
And there goes the emotional core of the movie.
Oh, I know.
And it'll never return.
At least this shot's pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the design of the Mutos. They're a little uninspired, but they're all right. They're functional.
Well, honestly, they look like. I know that they were trying to go for these giant cicadas.
Yeah.
Which honestly, that's an interesting.
Works.
That works. That was cool. Just having the dude get crushed. Yeah, crush those extras. That's what we're here to see. Okay, what's the mask supposed to do?
That's my thought. I'm like, okay, why is your first thought here is gas mask?
It's here to give us a really cool POV shot.
Yeah.
That's it.
And to give an excuse for the soundtrack to be muted.
Yeah, because you want to have that you want to mute it up a little bit so that way not everything doesn't feel loud anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, that was really bad acting. I'm sorry. Why did they use that take? I'm pretty sure even Liz Olsen was watching that in the theater like, ew, you used that take?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It could also be one of those unfortunate times where it's like, oh, look, like, that's the take we had. We didn't have other takes, and we don't have time for reshoots.
It's like, that's the take we have. The sound guy was falling asleep.
That's why you do another take, Gareth.
Well, maybe they did a bunch of takes, but the sound guy forgot to grab his energy drink, and his arms were sagging, and the boom slipped in.
Oh, so we could have had the resurgence of Jeans and Watch Guy in the background. Sure. Well, I mean, it is Warner Brothers, so maybe they'll have a little bit of money to CG him out, like they did in the special edition Godzilla. Gene and Watch Guy no longer available.
Also reminds me of the Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones.
Yes, the Starbucks gate. Oh, that was
God.
such a stupid. I actually have bootleg copies
of the Starbucks version.
One. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So,
yeah.
Something I want to mention that I thought was kind of amusing, interesting. The U.S. Marines looked at the script and were like, "No, we're not going to help you with this movie." But the U.S. Navy was like, "Sure, why not?"
Yes.
Well, isn't there? Maybe it's a different one where the shot of Godzilla swimming alongside them. Because I know he swims perpendicular in this one, but I think there's a shot in one of these MonsterVerse movies where Godzilla's swimming alongside a bunch of Navy ships, and that's like super America fuck yeah kind of bullshit.
It is. Well, I mean, that's just kind of how the Pentagon has been operating since like the 50s in movies.
And it does suck.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
But then, it is weird the stuff that they do approve. Like, I still am amazed a movie like Stripes got made.
Right.
Back in the 80s.
Well, I mean, the 80s were a very different time economically and
they
socially.
were. I guess they just
Yeah.
were. I guess it's just a testament how funny the writers and actors were on that movie.
Yeah.
And because of their status too.
God bless Bill Murray.
Yeah, for real, man. Well, there it is, everybody. Bryan Cranston is officially out of the picture. How far are we into this picture? We're he actually lasted about 40 minutes.
Yup.
Yeah.
40 minutes in a 2-hour movie.
I actually do like the acronym though.
Mudo.
Yeah, it does feel very Japanese.
I suppose.
That sense. And it feels like it belongs in a Godzilla universe somewhere.
Of course, the monsters were so poorly received in this movie that they decided, you know what, we're just gonna call them Titans from here on out, so we don't have to, associate with the Mudos.
Oh, really? Is that why they keep?
That's from what I understand, because I remember a lot of people saying, yeah, I mean, it was a good Godzilla movie, but the Mudos didn't really look that compelling as giant monsters, and they weren't really well designed. And I that's kind of I see it. They're serviceable as monsters, but they don't have the iconic.
They're not iconic.
Yeah, they're not Godzilla. They're not Mothra. They're not King Ghidorah.
You just gave me the idea for like the most terrible movie that I still want to see.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
Well, they call them Titans. I want to see a movie now called Clash of the Titans, where it's a remake of Clash of the Titans, but they're now incorporating monsters from, like they're now incorporating kaiju monsters into that narrative.
Shut up and take my money.
That's it. Last shot. Bye, Brian.
Bye, Brian.
Fuck, this sucks.
Well, and I mean, if you pay attention to the MonsterVerse lore, that's kind of what MonsterVerse lore is. The idea is that the Titans were giant monsters.
Yeah.
Were the kaiju.
Yeah. Oh, and now we have our exposition scene. Yippee!
But
us nerds always love the exposition
At
scenes.
least it has Ken Watanabe.
Yes, and he gets to say, Gojira.
Gojira.
I also really like that they have like the origin in 1954.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, that's very common for Godzilla reboots. Like, literally every Godzilla reboot is like, we discovered this monster in 1954.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that didn't do that, Shin Godzilla.
Really?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Shin Godzilla is an entirely new origin, doesn't reference the 54 movie at all.
Huh.
Yep.
I would not have expected that. That's okay. Interesting note. Wait, now I gotta ask, because I know you guys have probably seen it, but did the Roland Emmerich movie make reference to that year at all? Or was it really just its own fucking
I think
stupid
it really
thing?
was just its own stupid thing. Because in that one, Godzilla was like, by French nuclear tests, because they were being all pro-America, and you can't, have Americans be responsible for Godzilla. It was so stupid.
Yeah. God.
Yeah, that's why the French Secret Service people were involved in that movie.
I really do like some of these shots. Oh, here it is.
To be fair,
Yeah.
where the French still decided to continuously do their nuclear tests was like the most French move ever. Such a dick move.
Hey, where was it again?
Fiji?
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, hey, where are we going to test our nukes? Oh, a place people want to go on vacation to. Dick?
Yeah.
Like, of course that's what the French did.
Oh, and also in the Emmerich movie, Godzilla was a mutated iguana-like creature. A prehistoric iguana-like creature that was like on a lost world kind of situation. Just throwing that out there.
And although unfortunately I think that was like one of the few notes that Roland Emmerich took, because Zilla looks like a horrible iguana.
Yeah. Actually, to be honest, and this is blasphemy, and I know people are gonna hate me forever for this. As its own monster, Zilla is a pretty cool design.
If it was in anything else.
Right.
Literally
as its own
anything
monster.
else.
Which reminds me, as we're going through this exposition scene, I might as well mention this because I totally forgot to. Zilla was killed in Godzilla Final Wars in 2004.
Yep.
In a fight that lasted all of 2 seconds.
Yep. Because they were that mad.
And the big bad of the movie, who set the monsters against the humans, had the line, "I knew that tuna head wasn't up to much."
So cathartically on the nose. I love it.
Got him. Oh, even better.
What's up?
There's a song by an American rock band playing in the background of that, and that song is an anti-consumerist and environmentalist music song track thing.
Nerd.
So they were fuck you to consumerism, fuck you to America, fuck you to this Godzilla.
I mean, we
all
did
in
kind of
1 2-second scene.
we did kind of earn it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put a link in the description for a YouTube clip of that, just for you guys at home, because I know y'all like that. Do you guys all like that? When I put links in the description for stupid bullshit extras, I really hope so. We believe that power.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, love the lore. Love MonsterVerse lore. Such good shit.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Again, I'm glad they stuck with the Akira Ifukube theme for the sequels, but I do still think that this score is pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm glad they went back to the Akira Ifukube score for the sequels.
Well, they still kind of have it a little bit here.
Again, kind of. Like, they're trying to remind you of it, but it's just not the same.
They don't fully embrace it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It feels like they're teasing me.
Also, speaking of tease, do you notice that his wife, Elizabeth Olsen, constantly has the fucking news on?
Well, how else are we going to get that exciting monster action footage if we don't show it on the news in the background?
There's got to be some more interesting way to show these things.
I don't know what he was thinking with that.
No, really, I think that's just the script. That's just script and Hollywood,
Well, here's the thing. You can do the Jaws thing and cut away. But the problem is when you have an exciting action scene happening in the background of your shot.
Yeah.
Like, that's stupid.
That's really annoying.
That's bad filmmaking. And we'll get to that point when we get there, and I'll point it out when we get there. But like, you don't want something more exciting than the subject of your shot happening in the background. That's
Yes.
bad filmmaking.
Well,
Objectively.
unless you are making a comedy. Like,
Well,
that
yeah,
works
this is
in
definitely
comedy.
not a comedy.
Exactly,
It
exactly.
did- I will admit, you're right. It did totally. That was the one time where it really fucking worked. Was in Shaun of the Dead.
Yep.
Shaun of the Dead. It also
there,
it
he
also
pulling out
works
his-
in
his soldier
the
boy
opening
again.
to Guardians 2. You just have him dancing while the fight's going on behind him.
Oh, yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like
absolutely.
it works.
That works. Okay, here's another part of this movie that I know a lot of people are kind of pissed, and in retrospect, I am too.
What exactly about this don't you like?
Well, it's just that our protagonist spends more time trying to save this kid than his own wife and son.
And daughter.
Or
son,
daughter,
yeah.
whatever.
It's
His
whatever.
own wife and child. He spends more time with this kid than his own wife and kid. Like, come on.
I mean, I guess I just like seeing him show some kind of actual emotion.
Oh. Ooh.
That and also giving him an excuse to be the world's greatest monster magnet of all
I
time.
know, right?
Like, he is in the middle of every fucking monster attack in this movie.
The unluckiest road trip. That's what this movie should have been called.
Oh man, if we had gone with that kind of a concept, this would have been a tonally way better, different movie.
Oh my!
Okay,
oh
so
my
we
gosh!
have
you
two
know
ways
what?
to fix this movie.
Yeah, like seriously,
Bryan
why?
Cranston government conspiracy and wacky road trip.
Yeah, like seriously, do this planes, trains, and automobile style.
I like the shot of the iguana though.
Yeah,
That's really
I
cool.
think that also might be an intentional reference to the '98 movie.
Oh boy.
Because I can't think of any. Because I think that's the exact same species of iguana it shows in the opening credits of the '98 movie. I'd have to rewatch the '98 movie to be sure. But
You know, apparently I was doing
Do
some
you?
reading.
Does
that
anyone?
I actually did some. I'm pretty sure that's like a studio note thing.
yeah,
Because apparently, the '98 version did way better
oh yeah,
internationally because most people find monster movies
Honestly-
really obscure or they're just in bad taste.
Yeah.
And they really liked the Roland Emmerich movie, and they thought that was the original Godzilla. And when they saw this movie, they thought it was a remake of Roland Emmerich's movie and not the original
yeah,
from '54, and they hated this.
yeah.
And I think the reason why they put those in there is because they anticipated the kind of money returns that internationally it did,
Right.
that they put those little references to Roland Emmerich's version in there just so that they could appease their international audience.
So, I feel like I should just throw this out here.
it's pandering.
We're just under an hour, possibly about an hour into the movie.
Yeah.
We've not seen Godzilla. We've not heard of Godzilla. We don't know Godzilla is a thing.
No. We have
And
heard of
that's-
him.
No, we haven't.
Yes.
There has been no mention of. Okay, there was that exposition scene.
Yes.
But we don't know Godzilla will factor into the narrative at all up to this point.
Yes, you are correct.
he's
But
a
they
thing
have
that
mentioned
might
him and
be-
showed the fins in a picture, and it's still
And
frame.
I also want to throw this out that in the 1954 movie, which was constantly referenced when people are talking about what this movie was trying to do, that's trying to be the remake of the 1954 movie, basically. What everyone was saying is like, we're going to hold back Godzilla like they did in the 1954 movie. You hear about Godzilla, you see evidence of Godzilla interacting with things
Yep.
within the first 20 minutes of the 1954 movie.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that's most infuriating about this. Now, granted, we are about to see Godzilla, so it's not going to be that much
I
longer.
did like this shot,
And
though.
it is
with
genuinely
with- Yeah.
this whole sequence is great.
I love the shot with the helicopters and how quiet things feel right now.
Oh yeah, this
Like-
whole sequence is fucking great.
And we got the Black Ops agents going on helicopter.
Not
Man,
so much
can-
a fan of that, but whatever.
But can you imagine being on vacation in Hawaii and seeing that? Like, ooh, that's ominous.
Well, at that point, if you're on vacation, you go and order like the most quality booze that they have that you enjoy, because you would just accept the fact that you might be kissing your ass goodbye.
Just another shot of rum, please.
You know what? What if they didn't have that exposition scene in this movie? And
Oh, and they
Godzilla just showed up halfway through.
And then did the exposition
Exactly.
afterwards? That would have been an interesting choice. Not
That
gonna
would have been
lie.
an interesting... I mean, it would rely on this movie not being called Godzilla for it to really work.
Yeah.
And of course, they're not going to put Godzilla in a movie and have it not be Godzilla.
That would have been an interesting change format. I don't know if it would make it better, but it would definitely be more interesting choice. Oh, shit. Yeah, seriously, the EMP stuff, I really like how they utilized
It was a good
this.
choice. And it's definitely better utilized than it was in Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
In Pacific Rim, it was just like an obstacle. And this, it's like a recurring thing.
In all fairness, though, Pacific Rim, we can all agree, is the better
Oh,
movie.
unquestionably. Pacific Rim is fun.
Yeah.
You can actually see what's going on for most of the movie.
You literally have to be in a dark theater to appreciate this. I do like this shot though. With the little girl.
So a repeated shot throughout the entirety of the Godzilla franchise is Godzilla emerging from the water, and you see a mound of water swell as he's displacing it all as he's standing up. This is the only Godzilla movie I've seen where they treat Godzilla's approach as an actual tsunami as makes sense physically.
Yeah.
Which is fucking cool.
Yeah. When you build up the dread of Godzilla without seeing him.
Yeah.
It's more. Okay, so that's what was missing from this movie. I like the Jaws approach, but the fact is we don't have that presence.
No, we don't.
Yeah, and that's just it.
Here we're getting
right, but
yes.
Again, that's what Jaws does well. From the very opening, you know there's this damn thing out there.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but you see that water swelling at the bottom of the frame? That is exactly quoting how Godzilla emerges in these old Japanese movies. You get this mound of water and then splashes down.
Now this is a cool shot where it goes
fucking
underneath.
Awesome.
That's cool. That's fucking cool.
It's good scale. It's good, it's great.
And then we got the battleships just being tossed around.
Oh, that poor dog.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, is this a Boomer Will Live moment?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
See, the
it
leash is
breaks.
gone.
Okay.
Leash is
We're
gone.
good.
We're good. Run, Boomer, run!
This is such a Roland Emmerich shot, though. You have to admit.
Yes, it is. It really is.
Dog running from oncoming disaster.
Along with all these other people.
Also,
they're all dead. They should all be dead now.
They're all
Bye.
dead.
Goodbye.
All
No, you're all dead. No, fuck it. See, this is the exact same thing we talked about in Day After Tomorrow.
Right.
Like that tidal wave that wipes out man. No, you're all dead. Bye.
Well, see, they are dead now. I mean.
Also, that glass. No.
Oh, no, there's no way that glass holds up.
No. So, we visited the Grand Hotel in Hawaii. 0 stars. It was flooded when we got there. This has got to be the shittiest vacation, man. And people have probably been saving. Oh, here's the shot. This is the shot that freaked me out in IMAX. Quiet. And then the entire frame. Yo. Damn!
So fucking good.
Although it was a little bit ruined by that crowd reaction sound.
I could see
that is such a library sound.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
They clearly just didn't have a moment to get a better
take.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be a take, because that's obviously, tossed in from a library.
Well, it's an editing thing. Yeah. Like, oh, we got to get the movie out now. We got to get it out. Just throw the thing in there. Boom, it's done. All right, let's move on. But the build-up, that is some monster porn right there.
The only problem is that we don't see any more of it right now. Like,
oh, this reveal is cool. Watch this. Like, where the track lights up.
Yeah.
And then we see the thing, and boom.
Yep, that is cool.
That's cool. That's actually legit cool. Especially that it's right over the track and the train is heading immediately into that vicinity.
Also, I'm surprised Universal hasn't done this yet.
What's
for
that?
their theme parks.
Right?
A tram ride with a monster attack.
Dude, come on. That's so
Universal
easy.
has Kong.
Right?
Has King Kong. They could easily make a monorail ride that's a darkroom ride where where Kong attacks the fucking tram.
Especially after Godzilla versus Kong.
I know, right?
That lent itself to one
shit.
of those 4D experiences.
I know. When I was seeing their freaking, I forget what they were called. It was something stupid. The acronym for the Hollow Earth vehicles.
Right, yeah.
I could see that, strap into your Hollow Earth vehicle.
Exactly.
And then, you know,
We're going to the center of the Earth.
And then the 3 screens light up. And...
Wow. Okay, that just happened.
Oh, what did?
I just noticed they went from showing a single train car stop to having a whole train of cars with just one hanging off the edge.
Oh, okay, that's weird.
Now this part is really cool, where it just... This is a GTA moment where you blow up one car, and then it's in the immediate vicinity of another, so that one has to blow up.
And this
is cool.
Yeah, this is the Godzilla moment for this movie.
Thump. Yes, bitch.
Oh my god. I didn't realize that before. That's the same stomp sound effect from the 54 movie. No, that is identical. No, that is the stomp sound effect from the opening credits of the 54 movie.
He's gonna do the thing.
It would have been cool if they used the original roar too, but I guess I can't complain too much.
Dude, the new roar is fucking cool.
But what is nice is that they were sent the original recordings of the original roar to update and adjust.
Yeah, they did a good job with the new roar. I'm not complaining about that. It's just, see, this is
this is so annoying,
right?
So this is so stupid.
Even a guy like me who actually is kind of in the camp of like, I actually really think the Jaws approach is bold. No, I'm sorry. When you show it on the news like this, it's actually really frustrating and annoying. For the most part, I really enjoy the restraint, and I enjoy the approach that we don't get to see Godzilla for an hour into the movie. But fuck, dude! Like, if you're gonna do that, don't show it on the movie. Like, just have, like, him make a phone call or something. Just anything.
Yeah.
Just, no. Don't be a fucking tease like that. It's really frustrating. And once again, seriously, he spends more time with this fucking kid than his wife and with his own kid and his wife.
Yeah.
And you also had one job, dude. You're supposed to keep him at your side, but I guess it's okay,
because the parents are there.
Yeah.
You see, though, this is supposed to heighten his own disconnection with his own family.
Oh,
and I'm sorry, I can't care.
It's not cheap at all, is it? Also, you really gotta love the fact that he just jumps right back into the army instead of going straight home. What a dick. This is a cool shot, though.
Yeah, and again, like, of course, that's how the army works. We have a random guy just...
I mean, why wouldn't the Navy want this imagery on hand for their marketing?
Right here.
No, it's not there. You're imagining it.
Okay, fanboy.
You're imagining it.
He's gonna head straight for the same goddamn U.S. monument that's been destroyed for fucking the umpteenth time in movies. Seriously.
Oh, yeah, it's an iconic structure.
The core, we've seen it in The Core, X-Men 3, Planet of the Apes, and even just last year before this, Pacific Rim.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many times do we need to see the Golden Gate get blown
come
up?
on.
Like,
go destroy the Needle. Like,
yes! Yes! Well, dude, that would be so much more visually
Men
interesting.
in Black did that.
Did they?
No, because it was the flying saucer the bug was going to escape on.
No, that was the in the World's Fair.
Oh, right. Fuck, you're right.
Those movies are in New York, man.
I haven't seen
coast.
Men in Black in years.
Oh, I actually watched it recently.
I mean, I realize
reference the Space Needle. The Space Needle is also a spaceship.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
whatever.
I realize we're doing, the coast
two.
here, but like, if you did something like St. Louis Arch, like there are other monuments to kill.
Yeah, dude, but the reason why they never do it is because tax incentives for location shooting.
Right.
That's what it comes down to, man. And
what can we
really
destroy in Georgia?
Insane. Although I will say this, haven't seen a whole lot of monster movies attack Las Vegas.
That is true.
So I'm okay with this.
Weirdly enough, Resident Evil 3.
That's right.
I mean, yeah. Honestly, though, one of the best action scenes in the entire franchise. But this isn't about Resident Evil. I'll fanboy about that.
I did like the Con Air plane crash into Las Vegas.
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't seen Con Air in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I have it on
since I've seen
VHS.
It's one of those solid movies at the time when like Nicolas Cage was doing action movies and actually like quite well. It's like that movie, The Rock, and Face Off.
Yeah.
All right, not gonna lie, this shot is very reminiscent of Close Encounters.
Oh,
but I dig it.
Yeah.
I actually like they all turn at the same time.
Yeah.
And the white light.
No, yeah, this is like pure Spielberg.
But I actually kind of dig it. I really do.
I mean, Spielberg knows what works. So.
Yeah. And this shot is really cool with where the camera pans over and you see the thing walking away. Like, this is actually really cool. Especially when you see it through the goggles. Like, that's actually like, holy fuck. All right, this is actually the one time where the news thing works for me. This is really funny, actually, for me. Everyone's just, like, gambling away. Terror in Las Vegas. No one's looking at it. And it clicks off. And then, boom. Like,
See,
that actually works for me.
Yeah. And honestly, you know, really watching this movie again, anyone who says there isn't enough action in this movie is
They're high.
yeah. There's a lot of action in this movie. The only problem is what people perceive as a lack of action is really a lack of impact. Because, you know, we're here to see Godzilla. Godzilla's the monster we care about, and
Right.
he's not relevant to the story for the vast majority of it.
I gotta really say, I'm really digging the wide vistas
Oh,
of
absolutely.
the aftermath. Like, that's some pretty good shit.
The aftermath is good. I just wish I could see a little more of it in progress.
I don't even need to see much of it in progress, but the build and the aftermath
you know
need
what?
to be devastating.
That shot of the Muto like knocking down the
Eiffel
small
Tower.
Eiffel Tower, that was really cool. I wish I could have seen that in color. I wish I could see this in color.
Oh,
too.
so you want Ted Turner to come in with his Crayolas like Orson Welles?
Oh my God! I wish I had told this story before, but there's a colorized version of the original Godzilla.
Oh, is there?
It's too complex
What?
to get into. Too complex to get into. But here's the cliff notes. Italian guy, crazy. In the 70s, wanted to introduce Godzilla to Italians. They wouldn't play a black and white movie. He tinted large portions of it. Movie looks like it's on acid.
What? What?
Only redeeming factor of the movie, score by Goblin.
Oh, okay. Man, what a weird choice.
Good choice, because it was a 77 release.
Yeah, I know, but still very strange.
I'll make sure to pull up the theme after we're done here, because it's really good.
Absolutely.
Because it's a Goblin
Yeah.
theme for Godzilla. And Google keyword for those interested in learning more. Kozilla.
Godzilla?
Yeah, because it was Luigi Cozy.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's not the right time for the line yet, is it?
No, not quite.
We're introduced to the concept, so we just need to...
Because let's be honest, as good as Ken Watanabe is consistently through this, he really did come here just to say that one cool line.
Oh, yeah. To be honest, Ken Watanabe is much better in King of the Monsters.
Yes, yes.
Because he actually has an arc and a role to play in the story beyond spouting exposition.
And staring dramatically.
Yes, and to be fair, I do enjoy more of, you know, if you're going to have the humans there, give them an arc that is relevant to the monsters. Please.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I do like this little touch with the watch, that it stopped ticking
Yes.
For Hiroshima.
And you'll notice they took that great concept and is like, we're going to make that part of the big payoff for his character in King of the Monsters.
Yes.
Which I love to death.
Yes. I also really love the casting for David Strathairn. I think I'm saying that right. He was in several other movies like The Bourne Ultimatum and whatnot. But I really like his casting here. And I think they actually cast him because he played Oppenheimer in a TV series.
Oh, that's a clever reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're definitely leaning into the whole nuclear thing.
Well, I mean,
not quite as hard as they could.
Well, if
but they are.
you guys remember that amazing Comic-Con teaser trailer that they dropped in like 2012, like 2 years before this came out, they actually had Oppenheimer, doing the narration of it, and it was like chilling because and now I see the god Vishnu as he takes on his multi-armed form. Now I've become Death, the destroyer of worlds. So cool.
Good, yeah.
So cool. And there's the nuke. And seriously, dude, go home.
Yeah.
Go home.
But I have duty
to my country. You know what? I think that was written into the
yeah,
maybe that was written to the script just so that they get the military assets.
I guarantee you that was it. Because it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't really, but it does make sense when the production's like, we really want assets from the military for this movie. Like, we really want it badly.
Yeah.
I
mean, when you're doing a Godzilla movie, you need to have Godzilla confront the military in some respect.
Yes.
It's just it needs to happen. So you either need to spend a lot of money recreating that hardware, or you insert something like this
and get the access directly.
Exactly.
So it's a compromise. I mean, like, really, what is the absolute most important? And I can understand why, from like a studio perspective, that you want that kind of production value to be, because you're selling this to a massive audience, so you kind of need that. And once again, the news is all
I know
they are so obsessed with the news.
That is an interesting thing going on that screen here, but it's not the focus of the frame. So it's like
literally every scene with Elizabeth Olsen's character, there's got to be some kind of fucking news feed going on somewhere. And this is the point where he should have said, "Get out of the city! There are monsters coming! Don't stay there and I'll pick you up! No, run like fucking hell! Go inland, man! Get on a first flight to Chicago or somewhere. Anywhere! Just stay away from the coast,
You are
man.
not a good husband."
No. This was horribly written. Horribly written. Like, it's performed well. Like, as a matter of fact, Liz Olsen totally makes up for that one take.
This is working.
Like, she's good here. That one take where she's like, "Damn it!" Like, oh, what? I guarantee you, like, she'll be like watching this movie, like now this year.
This movie
and just be like,
really,
"What the hell?"
This movie just really needed a good script doctor.
It did, but I also probably really understand that there were a lot of hurdles just to get here.
Right. My first script note would be cut the Mudos. Just focus on Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like Godzilla's the one who's tearing ass up and whatnot.
Cut the Mudos. That would be the first thing I'd do. I think the part of the thought process, and maybe this feeds into the whole Gareth Edwards actually being a Godzilla fan, but every reboot of Godzilla, without fail, has Godzilla on his own, not fighting another monster.
Okay,
so
now this is some good shots.
God, yeah.
Dude,
Yep.
this is amazing B-roll for any disaster movie.
Yeah.
My God, look at this.
That is fucking amazing. Yeah. Gorgeous.
Fucking yes.
So every Godzilla movie that's been a reboot always has Godzilla on his own, never fighting another monster. So I can see Gareth Edwards being like, what a way to stand out. Let's get him fighting right off the bat.
Also, I feel like they need a little bit
here
more
we are again.
conflict.
Good action stuff happening in the background on a screen.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on back there? That's far more interesting than these people talking.
Yeah. It's like, it's not this is a bad scene. That is not what you should have in the background.
It's too busy. My eye wants to go there.
Yeah.
It wants to hang out in
if it was
fun
just
area.
if it was just like a feed of Godzilla swimming next to the destroyers,
Yeah, that would work.
That would work.
No,
that would
no.
work. It's they're still keeping an eye on him, but we don't have this very busy handheld footage that's drawing your eye in the middle of the screen.
I know.
It is framed its center.
I don't know what they were thinking with that. That's not a script problem.
That's a post-production
and can we
problem,
talk about the
actually.
fact that they're just like, yeah, we're gonna nuke San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Oh my God.
Goddamn.
And they don't have an evacuation plan at all. Like, come on.
Oh my god. I won't say this because it's kind of spoilery for Shin Godzilla, but it just reminded me of a major issue in Shin Godzilla.
This I thought was actually kind of cool. Like they actually swap it out for Clockwork.
That is genuinely neat. Once again, I think kind of possibly a reference to Pacific Rim.
Oh.
Gypsy Danger's analog.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Well, Gypsy, she's analog. I think it was an Australian person who was saying that.
I believe it was. Herc Hansen.
Maybe.
Seriously, dude, you are a... Why are you on this train? Don't you know you are a fucking magnet for these monster attacks?
Maybe he has the orca in his back pocket the whole
He
time.
probably does! If you watched this movie on mute and you saw the other ones, you'd probably think that too.
Maybe Bryan Cranston has monster scent on him. And he passed that to his son.
Oh my gosh.
Also, I think the train is also very evocative of Spielberg as well here. Like, because you know how J.J. Abrams was getting that very classic 80s Spielberg vibe with Super 8?
Yeah, this is
I'm
kind
of seeing it here, too.
Alright, I want to point something out right now. Like, we are an hour and 15 minutes into this movie. We've got 45 minutes to go. And, like, while there are moments I enjoy, I'm 100% at this point. Like, this is, like, reaching peak frustration. Like, Godzilla, please.
Yeah, might I remind you guys, Godzilla's still not important in the narrative right now.
Yeah,
He's just with the military.
The Mudo is the real focus here.
Right.
Yeah, and you're just like, I don't care anymore. I don't care about your train. I don't care about your kids. I want Godzilla.
Yeah, and you can have a movie driven by the monsters like Mudos and have the same plot, but the problem is you need to make those monsters interesting, and the Mudos just aren't.
Nope.
No.
They're just giant bugs.
Bugs! Bugs! It would just cut to the thing from Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that would be an amazing crossover. Have the Starship Troopers... Actually, you know what? Actually, you know what? That would be a really interesting face-off. Starship Troopers versus the Godzilla Titans.
You know, you remind me, actually... Oh, and this is actually quoted from War of the Worlds.
Yeah?
The Spielberg War of the Worlds, where the bodies are going down the river.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's totally visually quoted from War of the Worlds.
Yep.
And I don't doubt that Gareth Edwards is a fan of Spielberg's War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Because this is nearly the same movie.
There is so much in this movie that just is overemphasizing how much he likes Spielberg.
Yeah. But you mentioning like the Starship Troopers fighting Godzilla. There's actually a Godzilla comic about a mercenary team put together with all personal grudges against kaiju, and they hunt and trap kaiju.
Didn't they kind of hint at that for the Legendary King of the Monsters movie?
I mean, I don't think there was anything specifically like that, but
maybe they could, because what's his name, Lannister from.
Oh yeah, no,
like,
yeah, no.
His little organization, that should be it.
No, totally. I do think that the best way to do an American, truly
cool.
American. Oh, this is cool.
This is a really cool shot.
Yeah.
Like, we keep shitting on the Mudos, but there's some genuine.
The Mudos
cool
are
shot.
good design. It's just they can't compete with the other
iconography. You're
yeah.
right. I do like the sound effect
design
too.
is really good.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, it really sounds like what a 200 tall cicada would sound like.
In fact, the sound design throughout the entire MonsterVerse is exemplary.
Yes, it is. It really is. And it's especially good when you see it in.
And love it.
That's really cool.
Love it.
Yeah.
Because you don't hear anything about the fact that they're looking to breed. Yeah. Also, incidentally, that's a plot ripped from the 98 movie.
Is it?
Yep. Because Godzilla went to New York in order to breed.
So it's Godzilla trying to fuck.
Well, actually, since Godzilla's a hermaphrodite in that movie, he's just trying to lay a bunch of eggs. Or she, they, who knows?
Whatever.
Giant monsters don't have gender.
It's still dumb.
Yeah,
well, in this movie, technically they do.
Wow.
Because one does need to
I
reproduce.
just realized how much that physics would not have worked like that for the water.
Yeah, no, he's dead.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, not necessarily dead, but like with that, something that heavy and powerful creating that suction right next to you, you're going deep.
Yeah. I do
Not to
like
mention
that
all
they-
the gear that he's got on.
I also like that they eat nuclear material.
That's actually a really cool.
That's good. That's good. Good Godzilla stuff. You know, giant monsters should eat nuclear stuff.
Dive!
Yeah.
Oh, that's some pretty
Love
good shit.
it.
That's good.
I also appreciate that this movie didn't forget that Godzilla is a amphibious creature.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And they again they really went all out to try to get the physiology of them right.
Yeah. It's also baffling. Quite frankly, I'm surprised that Japanese filmmakers missed this for so long. That this is the first time that Godzilla's had gills.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean-
I guess because they were really trying to get it plausible.
Yeah. It's
that
just
they
not
happened-
something that they've ever considered before this movie.
Well, you know, because
So-
they were a little bit more considered, like trying to focus on effects and shit. Like
If
that.
he's waking up alive from this, shouldn't like some of the other bodies we just saw littered around also be alive? Like,
Yeah, but we need this to be PG-13 and not R. We got to get the teenagers into this demographic. That's why. Movie bullshit, you guys. It holds a lot of the movie together. But sometimes
But should it?
It shouldn't, though.
Yeah,
really
exactly.
shouldn't. Because the smell can get overwhelming if you use too much of it. Okay, seriously. Evacuation. Yeah, finally. We get now we're getting an evacuation. And seriously, she should have been gone.
Yeah.
Like,
But she's got a duty too. It's parallels,
oh,
right? It's just so lame.
like the Americana propaganda that your job is more important, especially like in service to your country, like as EMS or military. Like, yes, those are noble jobs, but dude, seriously, giant motherfucking monsters are coming.
It's also very stereotypically gendered, but
Yeah, that is true too.
yeah.
Man, how amazing would it have been if it was Elizabeth Olsen?
Oh my God, she's so much more charismatic. It would have worked so much
Dude,
better.
can you
Oh,
imagine
wow.
if it was
Yeah.
it was actually her, like Bryan Cranston's daughter, and he was the stay-at-home dad nurse?
Yes.
Like that.
Oh.
Thank God.
Yeah.
There's
Oh.
another way to fix the movie. Gender swap.
Man, or just actor swap, really.
Yeah.
Like shit.
I'm just coming up with the silliest way to put it.
Oh my God, this movie would have been much more interesting.
Yeah, nah, it would have been way better.
I mean, I guarantee you, because it's Hollywood and Hollywood's fucking garbage sometimes, that there probably would have been some kind of sexist things, even if she was in the lead role. But still, that would have been so much more dynamically interesting.
I completely agree, but I am also, I'm going to circle back here. I am really so tired of this, like, I am a selfless worker because I'm in the medical field. Like, no, like, I'm saving lives, but that's also my job. And when it's time to not be my job and it's time for me to, like, save my own life, I'm saving my own life.
Fucking monsters
Right?
on the way. Run!
If somebody told me I had, like, 2 hours to get out of a nuclear zone, I'm out. Like, bye.
Right, yeah, I don't give a shit that, this guy needs surgery. Bye. Get him on a bus, too. For real. Okay, seriously, dude. After all this, he still goes through with everything. You know?
I'm okay. I just had a train dropped on my head, but I'm okay.
And now I'm gonna go do a Halo jump right back into the middle of the war zone.
Right?
Like, God.
What an idiot.
Yeah. Hollywood is really just... There's some real Hollywood stank in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, this is what everyone wanted, right? A big Hollywood Godzilla movie.
In all fairness, this is... in that scenario, I think this actually does a fairly good job.
I suppose.
at that. I mean, look, because again, when you make Hollywood movies, there's gonna be that stank on it.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm also just I'm gonna be this guy. Like, I feel they take really stupid approaches to this stuff. Like, okay, we have a female, we have a problem, but it's destroying all your stuff.
Yeah.
The simple solution is, like, stop trying to use projectiles. If you're losing all your stuff anyway, just start flying planes into the egg sac. Like, start flying jets into the egg sac so there's nothing to reproduce.
There you go.
Like,
not gonna lie though, this sequence here with the really tanks on the bridge, this is actually legit cool. And I also like that. Again, he's using the Spielberg method a little bit too coy, but I like the kids on the bus here and their reaction. Like, it's good.
I mean, this was like one of the big money shots of the trailer too.
Oh yeah, here it is. That'll shut you up, you little bastards. And of course, you gotta have the window wipe. Yeah. Good shit.
Jurassic Park.
Oh my god.
It is.
Right.
Ah, it is. But still effective.
Still works.
Yeah. Yep. Although that was cheap.
That was cheap. But I do kind of appreciate the you know, if something that big just made a noise that big, it's going to disturb the local wildlife.
You know, if they could have done that, but they didn't need to do a jump scare.
They didn't need to do a jump scare. I agree.
This shot is fucking cool though. This is intimidating.
Once again, you get the water swell.
Yep.
That iconic Godzilla rising from the water swell.
But the brace, that's scary. Cuz these dudes on these destroyers, like, Jesus Christ, that is intimidating. I also really dig the sound design, where those moments of silence. I wish the silence would last just a second or two longer, just to give you that, make it a little bit more uncomfortable, you know. Still works though. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Godzilla.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro.
Yeah.
Just fuck this. I'm out. Bye.
And you know what? Even if he ran over a guy, he'd probably still be considered a hero if he got the kids off the bridge.
Oh, that. Yeah.
If he got the kids off the bridge.
Yep. But remember, this is a Pentagon-approved movie, so we can't have anyone getting hit by a bus. This is cool. The reflection.
I know.
That's good. Yay! We got the yell again. It's only been a fucking hour and 20 minutes, but we got it.
This is the first time in the movie Godzilla's actually done something on screen.
He's actually doing Godzilla stuff.
Except he's kind of just manhandling the bridge a little bit.
Well, he is...
just kind of stroking the bridge.
Well, well, you know, he is getting peppered by some pretty heavy ordnance. And it's probably very annoying. That's cool, though.
That is, yeah,
that's
that
cool.
shot was a big trailer shot.
Oh, yeah. Although, just to be fair, like, as soon as he went through the bridge, yeah, that school bus and all those kids, they're all gone.
From the movie for another 10 minutes.
Yeah, and he's gone. You're right.
And he's gone.
You know, I hate to be this guy, but that's actually something I appreciate with a lot more international films. They're not quite so squeamish with, like, we can't have a kid die on screen.
Right, yeah.
It's like, it's a disaster movie. Everyone's going to die. Like...
what was it you said in our speed commentary? More collateral damage, damn it.
Yes.
It raises the stakes.
That's actually really cool.
And this right here, when you look at, you know, that wide shot of the traffic, remember, if you are actually a disaster prepper, you best have and know how to use a dirt bike.
Yeah. Or just a regular bike. That was cool.
That was really fun.
Just the silence,
yeah.
the parachute, and then the plane crashing in. But man, that's some bold shit, just having a plane crash into a building.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
It's the Y2K bug. It's a cheap joke, but worth it.
Yes, because of your 50 caliber machine gun's gonna do anything against whatever's causing jets to fall out of the sky.
Oh, that's such a cool
that
shot.
was really cool.
And I'm glad we got to see it from the soldier's point of view and just like, dude, why are you even firing? Why? Just jump. You're probably not going to make it, but you got a chance. Also, again, I really like how they animate them.
Yeah, they move like animals.
Yes, because even though the design isn't quite as iconic or it's not very memorable, the sound design, the animation, and for the most, like this shot is like poorly rendered, but
Yeah,
for the most part, it's actually pretty rendered well.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna throw something out here. How much more hilarious would it have been had Godzilla showed up and started fighting while they were in the middle of copulating?
That would have been great.
Just and in a wide shot too.
And this is my favorite gag from the sequel. You know that they reference the mating in the sequel.
They're here to pork.
It's the blurring of the genitals gag in King of the Monsters is probably like my favorite gag.
Although, I don't know if you guys read up on this, but apparently they were originally supposed to have Godzilla emerge from like a thing of ice. Like he was trapped in ice for a long time.
There's
And,
precedent for that.
Well, they had that,
Yeah.
but they watched Man of Steel, which came out right before,
Okay.
and they
Yeah.
changed it up. But there is another huge Man of Steel similarity with this movie that I find.
Yeah.
Superman destroys like a shitload of property damage
Yeah.
and becomes a hero in the
yeah.
universe's eyes. And the reason why he destroys like half the city is because an invasive species wants to repopulate.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Although in all fairness, like it's really funny because I think even How It Should Have Ended did something like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, Godzilla has been the savior of us all and is the king of
Yeah.
the monsters, even though he destroyed half the city.
God.
And Superman sees that and he's like, wait, what? Flies over there and he's like, oh, okay, so you guys, when Godzilla destroys half the city, he becomes a hero. But when I do it, everyone gets all judgmental. I see what's going on.
I'll have something to say about Godzilla's portrayal as a hero in this movie when
What's
we
that?
get there. When we get there, it'll be a lot more punchy. When
Okay.
when I say it at that point. So, is that was that a computer rebooting in the background? I could have sworn that was like a BIOS setup screen. Anyway.
Yes,
I don't
because
know.
let's just keep letting this guy who shouldn't be here in the first place join every mission. Sure.
Go home, dude. Go fucking home.
Because, the military just disregards their own policies left, right, and center for one dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He should be court-martialed, to be
He
honest.
should be. Yeah, just booting up a computer in the background.
I guess. No, actually, that does track because of the EMP.
The EMP, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Point to the movie.
Yep.
You got me.
Nope. It's all good. It's all good.
No, it isn't.
Okay, it's a little better, but it's not good. Oh, hey, here it is. Here it is. This is yeah.
We gotta be quiet for this.
Where Ken Watanabe is here to say one cool line. and also, let's be honest, this is the line that basically sets up the entire MonsterVerse for Legendary. Yeah! Yeah!
Yeah.
Good
The
shit.
arrogance of man is thinking nature is under our control. Let them fight.
Oh,
Fuck yeah.
so good, you guys. And seriously, it was times like this when I was watching the movie the first time. I'm like, are you sure you're not just doing Mothra? I feel like you're just doing Mothra here.
Yeah, again, it's closer to Rodan.
But holy fuck. That was cool.
Yeah.
And it's too bad all this cool setup is just cut away. Which, again, I still weirdly support. I still do. It's a bold choice.
And he's gone.
And
he's gone.
Oh.
For another 10 minutes.
is that like another? Is that like a catchphrase that's going to be for this movie? And he's gone. Bryan Cranston, and he's gone.
I will.
Well,
I
this is
will
one of
give
the
props to this
best
movie for
sequences.
actually filming people skydiving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, this is cool.
The fact that they actually went out and had real skydivers actually do it in camera, like this is
Yeah.
actually really cool.
This is really cool. It's one of the biggest cool set piece moments of the movie.
And you see why that was like like half the trailer.
Yeah. I kind of wish they didn't still use the 2001 music.
Oh, Legetti's music.
Yeah, it just takes me out of the moment and just reminds me it's a movie. You know.
I think. Well, you know what? Apparently, Gareth Edwards, while he was editing this, just had this playing on his iPod.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's like he had the soundtrack for 2001 playing.
Right.
But he's like, "Ooh, that actually works. Can we put that in the temp?" And he's like, "Ooh, that really works." And you know what? Watching it in the trailer, I'm like, "Ooh, that's really awesome." Actually,
It does work, and it's a good decision. It's just it's too iconic, and it just makes me think of 2001.
Okay. I'm kind of here for it, to be
Yeah.
honest. I really like it. But dude, the I also love the red visual. the
Oh, yeah,
halo,
no,
like
visually-
that's cool.
I mean, literally, I think most of the actual creativity and quality of this movie went to this sequence. The vast majority of it.
Especially this upcoming wide shot where they come through the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
That part's like
It's
amazing.
the closest this movie gets to that mythic gravitas of King of the Monsters, which is missing from most of the rest of the MonsterVerse.
Oh shit! Here. Yeah.
You,
Right
you
here.
know what I really want
Fuck.
to see now?
Good.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
It's like yeah. Sorry, what was your?
So I was saying, I really like. I want to see somebody hire like somebody with an Orson Welles type voice to do a comedic narration over this entire movie. Just like turn it funny by just pointing out all the stupid shit and narrate it in like a very goofy way.
Get Maurice LaMarche on that.
Yeah. So yeah, that scene of them dropping through the clouds, it's like Michael Dougherty saw that one scene is like, I'm gonna make all of
the
King of
entire
the Monsters
movie
look like that.
And it works.
And it works so well. We'll definitely get there, and I will be fangasming all over the place. It'll be wonderful.
But this is the point in the movie where, like, I think even in the theater, I'm like, wow, man, they really went, like, dark. Like,
Yeah.
can y'all turn off the brightness just a little bit?
Yeah.
Like,
I first noticed it with the train scene where I was just like, this is almost unwatchable.
yeah. I really wish that they'd stop doing that.
Yeah.
I really do. Because there are ways you can photograph it without it being, like, overly shadowy.
Yeah.
You just have, as long as you have those deep blacks in certain parts of the screen,
Yeah.
you can still get away with that
Yeah.
kind of imagery.
You can light the rest of the shit however you want.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure you don't have any harsh shadows.
Oh, dude, check it out. Like, that's straight up aliens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Straight up. Like, they're not even trying to hide that. Game over, man. Game over.
It's a bug hunt.
It is a bug hunt. It totally is. With a bunch of Marines. Oh, shit.
I'm
Too
glad
bad
they
they
didn't toss that line in.
Yeah.
That would have been cheesy as fuck.
If they had done it just right, it could have worked. Maybe they did actually do it. It just wound up on the cutting room floor.
Probably.
And they're like, too on the
Too
nose.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I don't see that going. And it's San Francisco, so of course you must reference Chinatown.
Well, you got to have that dragon imagery.
Yeah, well, duh.
And that, actually, I just realized that dragon arch, that shows up a lot. They
Yeah.
really get their money's worth in
Yeah.
this.
Oh, is he hawking up a baby?
Oh, shitting out some eggs.
Just vomiting up that fetus.
This is actually really cool.
This is one of the best shots in the movie.
Yeah.
Ah, so good.
Yeah! With the lightning. Oh, fuck. Yeah!
That was the other big trailer shot.
Man, they really went all out with that updated roar.
Yeah.
Did you hear about all the technicalities that they did to update it and whatnot?
I haven't really looked that deep into it.
Apparently, they actually once they figured out that they finally got it down,
Yeah.
they wanted to record it the acoustics exactly.
Yeah.
So they rented out this stadium in Burbank, California, and they had a stage where they had recently toured with the Rolling Stones, and they had these giant speakers, like 100,000 watt
And he's
speakers, and they played it as an experiment
Oh,
to
that's
see
awesome.
because they really wanted to play it at a volume that was completely inaudible to human ears.
Yeah.
And they recorded it, the acoustics of that, to get that authentic echo. And as a matter of fact, when they played it, a lot of people were calling the police and being like, "I think Godzilla's on the move." So it's kind of fucking cool, and it plays so beautifully, especially in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I remember distinctly when I went to go see this in IMAX, the IMAX countdown pre-show that they do, they actually had Godzilla's roar be like the crescendo of the pre-show.
Cool.
Nice.
It was really fucking cool. Looks like some magic beans.
So this is the equivalent scene to finding the little Godzilla eggs in Madison Square Garden in the 98 movie.
Oh my god! Why are they bringing that back?
Shoot them! Shoot them now!
Bomb them is what I'd say, because that's...
Yeah, you're not going to be able to shoot enough of them.
And even if you do, I feel like those fetuses would be really pissed off.
But you don't know their survivability at that point. That's the hope.
I guess, but still, even so, I would still probably get like a 50 caliber instead of like 7.62.
Yeah.
This movie's really dusty.
Well, okay, so I gotta ask, would you prefer extreme amounts of dust or extreme amounts of rain?
Both are pretty bad.
Well, in all fairness, the dust is more realistic.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, it's horrifying to talk about, but 9/11
was dusty.
Gave a lot of insight to exactly what it would look like, of what would happen if two giant buildings just fell. And there was a lot of dust, so I guess you could argue this is more realistic in that way.
Oh wait, they're actually fighting. They didn't cut away
they're
this
actually
time.
fighting. And even though it's covered completely through dust, because in like the subsequent movies, especially like Godzilla vs. Kong, they made the right decision not to have it too dusty.
Yeah.
Because yes, technically this is more realistic. You are correct, Gareth Edwards. But it's not as visually interesting.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It would also be more realistic to have Godzilla be 10 feet tall, and not shoot nuclear stuff out of his mouth.
Although, how did you feel about making Godzilla like super fucking humongous compared to the previous incarnations? Cause
I'm gonna. This might be further Godzilla fan blasphemy. Size doesn't matter.
Oh.
All that matters is that he's fuck off big. The precise fuck off bigness of him doesn't actually matter so long as he's fuck off big.
Okay.
Exactly.
Oh,
I'm on board with that 100%.
Right. Because I mean, like you look at the smallest Godzilla from 1950s. He's perfect. He doesn't need to be any bigger because the buildings are small. You know, he's in a big place with big buildings. He just needs to be fuck off big.
I think the whole reason why they made him so fucking huge in this one was so that they literally could post that image of the scale of Godzilla throughout the years, just to get that kind of press. Like, he's bigger and better than before, and, America's got to have it bigger and louder and more.
Yeah. Shin Godzilla, I think, is actually the smallest Godzilla since probably the 60s, and it's,
that actually makes me so sad. Do you know what I learned recently?
Oh, that smell.
And
what did you learn?
In several other countries, particularly like in Japan, they won't have a large size. They'll have an American size.
That's great.
Oh,
there's more
that's
dragon
actually
imagery.
a really cool little shot. That was kind of cool. Because didn't they kind of make it look kind of like visually called to
a little fiery,
Ghidorah?
A little bit, yeah.
My babies! My babies! Not my babies!
They blew up my vomit children.
I actually really like the sound design in that, where you can actually feel like, my babies! They killed them! Oh, you pissed off Mama now. Oh, shit. No, my children!
See, and this is the part where they killed all the Godzilla babies, in 1998.
That movie's gonna continue to haunt. Are we gonna wind up doing that movie for another kaiju?
We might have to.
Oh god.
If only so I can actually defend it, to be honest.
Defend it, really?
There's a lot I like about it. There's a lot I hate about it, and it's not a good movie, but there's a lot to like.
Man, that's so weird. The hardcore gods. Oh, wait, no, fuck everything.
Oh, yeah, no.
Fuck everything. Hell yes. Oh yeah. This is the one time where the dust is really effective.
Yeah.
Damn!
I loved how they handled the marketing for this movie in respect to that one event, because the marketing was all about this is a grounded, realistic Godzilla and he's a force of nature.
Yes.
And it was genuinely a question of whether or not he would actually use the nuclear breath.
No, we're getting that shit. We're so getting that shit. I remember seeing this in the theater.
Yeah.
Everyone cheered.
Oh yeah.
When he started lighting up.
Oh yeah.
Everyone. It was amazing. Say what you will about this movie, man. I know it's not like perfect or anything, and it's not like, it's not even Citizen Kane by a Godzilla movie standard or anything, but goddamn if this ain't a crowd pleaser.
Well, for the last 11 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is true. Most of like the big cheers is in this sequence.
Yeah, the last 20 minutes of this movie, like 20, 25 minutes, that's where it comes out.
That's where it's a crowd pleaser. Everything leading up to that is
kind of like
well, no,
we'll get to that.
it has a good like first half hour and then a good last like half hour, 25 minutes. Like everything in the middle, no.
Yeah,
Garbage.
in the middle is
Utter
where
garbage.
it's Oh, they on your ass now. Get him, Godzilla. Get him. Ooh. That's going to leave a hickey.
You know what's a little disappointing?
What's that?
None of the MonsterVerse movies had the balls to show monster blood.
Have they? I'm
I
pretty sure
can't
I
think
saw
of
it.
I can't think of an example.
I thought
maybe with Kong,
I remember seeing Kong bleed.
but I have a couple distinct memories of some of the Japanese movies getting very bloody with the monsters, and I appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I remember in Kong Skull Island that giant bloody handprint.
Yeah, no, you're right with Kong. No, you're right.
But and I also remember Godzilla bleeding a bit.
I don't
In
remember Godzilla.
Godzilla vs. Kong?
I mean,
A
I
little
only
bit?
watched Godzilla vs. Kong once.
I remember he was bleeding a little bit, but you're right, it wasn't very gory at all.
Yeah. Like, there are some clips from...
I guess they have to get that kind of credibility before they can do, like, an R-rated kind of thing.
Well, here's the thing. The Japanese movies did it, and they were for kids.
Well, remember, very different cultures.
I know.
Very different.
I know.
If you have, like, a gory monster fight, it's going to be rated R here in America. I'm sorry. That's just how the stupid-ass MPAA
Well, I would
works.
agree with you if it wasn't for animated bloody movies like Beowulf that wound up with PG-13.
Okay, yeah.
I think if it's sufficiently animated and sufficiently fantasy, you can get away with it.
I killed your dad. Bye.
But he didn't.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's true.
The fucking Mudos. Whatever.
Like I said, you can cut them out of the movie. Just make it that Godzilla wants to go to San Francisco for the sightseeing.
For the sightseeing.
I don't know. Maybe they could they open a nuclear reactor in San Francisco that's the biggest in the world, and it's gonna be like ushering in a new green energy thing, and then Godzilla can.
Ooh, a green energy subplot.
Yeah.
Actually, that would. Ooh, man, You know, it's times like this where I wish I had a time machine so I could turn in
right?
a much better script.
I know, right? You'll notice that King of the Monsters, my favorite, also had very strong environmental themes in it. And,
It did, didn't it?
and no one talked about it.
You're right, dude.
I'm telling people, King of the Monsters is far better than anyone gives it credit for. And
Yeah,
it frustrates
it
the
is.
fuck out of me. Like, reading critic reviews is just insulting. Like, they didn't watch the same movie I did, and I will be talking a lot about that when we get there.
Okay, so EMP, how is the GPS working there? I'm really curious. How'd you get that GPS working? That automated thing. Also, don't you disarm bombs for a living, and you were just like bashing it with your hands? Like
No, he can't get the casing off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
so he was bashing at the casing. That makes sense.
Okay.
They literally established that in the plot earlier. Come on.
Oh, but yeah, but this part, this is actually pretty intimidating and cool. I killed your father. Prepare to die. Really? Really? I don't care if that's I don't care if that's a 45, man.
And then here is the greatest
To
moment
be fair,
of
if you're
this
gonna,
movie.
if all you have is a gun to shoot at him at least shoot for the eyes.
Wait.
The best
Here
moment of the
comes-
movie.
In the mouth. Yeah! Oh, that's good.
You see, that's where they needed to put in the dun 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 dun, bum 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 bum. But no, apparently not.
Honestly, that was I think that was the biggest crowd cheer.
Oh
of
yeah,
this
no,
entire
it's the
movie.
best part of the whole movie. We
Yeah.
just saw the best part. We can stop the movie now. Nothing. Honestly, from this point forward, nothing in the movie is really that worth watching.
However,
well-
it's on. You have it on autopilot. This is when you get off the boat.
Hey, wait. No, I just realized there is something thematically interesting here going. Well, not interesting, but there is something thematic. It's really interesting you said.
Yeah.
It's on autopilot.
The rest of the movie.
The rest of the movie, including the boat. The boat is a metaphor for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
It's just on autopilot now.
Yeah.
And doomed to explode in a nuclear explosion. So you could argue that's some meta humor right there.
Sure.
But I also love how Godzilla is just so fucking exhausted he just collapsed. Because we also have to show that he collapsed just like our main hero. They're one and the same, you guys.
I'm almost to the point. Where
Except,
I'm gonna say the
again,
thing
Like
that I teased.
he didn't have to die.
I kind of wish that he did, though. I really no. I mean, like it just seems
you're right.
fitting. It just seems
well,
fitting.
well, I'm more of the matter of like, had he done it himself, I didn't want him saved. You know what I mean? Like, take care
Right.
of yourself, you idiot.
Yeah,
You
he
get
could've
bailed out of this movie.
Yeah, like you
get
had it on
bailed out.
autopilot. Like, get off the boat. Come on.
He's like, no, I got to show how our special forces are so good at rescuing people, so we can have this stupid forced happy ending to the movie, and to my supposed character arc. Oh man, it's really sad when the main focus of your movie is not that good. Also, no,
Too close, he's dead.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
Too close,
It's
he's
just
dead.
like,
no
nope,
way.
that does not pass the thumb rule.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell that they got that boat away from the bay in time. At the rate that was going, I don't care how fast. No.
No.
Like all this is nuclear fallout.
Yeah, no,
San
they're
Francisco's
dead.
gone. Bye.
dead.
Yeah, honestly, their best bet, drop it in the water. At least, like, the water's radioactive, but you're alive.
Mm-hmm.
But Godzilla might be dead.
Haha. Sure.
Right.
Right. You're just okay. Thousands still missing. Not thousands dead, just missing.
Also, what kind of imagine if they'd done a hot take, like, he and his wife survived, but the kid died. Like, they could have gone
man.
dark with this.
They could have, couldn't they? There was just so much more room for some better tragedy in
Yeah.
here, but no.
It's got to be a Hollywood movie.
Yeah, there's no way that they're just going to be able to lift these people out. Because usually people are pinned or they've broken something they can't move. Like, ugh.
Oh, look how much he's missing his family with all these other families getting reunited. The tragedy, the ridiculous tragedy.
But you know what? We've got to, because if you notice, the beats that you see, like whenever he sees someone reunited with their family, he always has a moment with his family. Like, it's a beat that repeats to a T.
Oh my god, I could never have guessed Godzilla's still alive.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He was just taking
Shocking.
a nap. He was just taking
Also,
a nap,
you know what
guys.
doesn't play here?
What?
This is America. There would have been some idiot posing on his head triumphantly who had nothing to do with it. You know I'm right.
Like, with a selfie stick,
Yeah.
talking on his Instagram.
yeah, something.
Hell, there should have been someone in the background behind Ken Watanabe with their phone out, be like, just like, "Holy shit, this is definitely going on Instagram." Also, the moment that thing breathes, don't you think the entire crowd should stop looking in awe and turn and run in
Right?
the opposite direction?
At the very least, the whole energy of this sequence should have changed.
Yeah.
There's no way that they would let these people stay this close.
No, nuh-uh. No, you got to get them, like, evacuated. You have to have the entire state evacuated
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
You know? The governor would be like, everyone get out of California. Seriously. I don't care. Go to Las Vegas.
There's not much to do there anymore, but okay. So
Everyone cheers!
I'm gonna mention this now since it's back up. So, Godzilla 2000, first Japanese movie to be made since like 96 or 95. It ends with Godzilla beating an evil monster. Great, we all love it. Big heroic monster beats up the evil monster, and then you know what he does? He starts wrecking shit. He starts destroying Tokyo because that's what Godzilla does.
Yeah.
Seeing Godzilla walk away from this felt like a slap in the face to me. Granted, I was a proto-Godzilla fan. I didn't understand a lot of the intricacies of the character because there are a surprising amount of intricacies, and this does work in certain, contexts.
I personally am very curious as to why the news was like, King of the Monsters? Is he our savior? How do you know to even call him that? Like, why, who's making that call?
That is a very good point.
Because movie, that's why. Also, seriously, Superman is right. Like, oh, so as soon as Godzilla just wrecks everything up, he becomes the savior of the world. But when I do it, everyone gets all grudgy and judgmental.
This film wanted to have its cake and eat it too with a heroic Godzilla, and it failed. Because it's like, oh, we want Godzilla to be an amoral force of nature, but we're also going to call him a hero at the end of the movie.
In all
Like,
fairness,
what the
though,
fuck?
I actually did kind of like the vibe of him walking away. Like, I get as a Godzilla fan, you would, but to me, I'm like, I actually kind of like the vibe that, he's just, just rolling up his sleeves, going back into the water and going home, and
Like
maybe kick back with a beer.
I understand, why you can go that way. I like how they reinforced what he did here with King of the Monsters.
Exactly. It works in the context of this movie, and I did. That's why I had a whole big spiel. It's like, yeah, when it felt like a slap in the face, it was because I was not as big of a Godzilla fan then as I am now. There's a lot of intricacies to the character, and there's a lot of reasons that can work. It just didn't feel like it worked in this movie.
Right, and that's just it. It's like once they contextualize it in the way they do with King of the Monsters and set the narrative up for this universe's version of Godzilla,
Right.
It works fine. But yes, I can understand where you're coming from, having been a Godzilla fan, seeing that and just be like, huh?
Yeah.
Especially since I think it might have actually been Godzilla 2000 was the most recent Godzilla movie I'd seen right before this one. And so that image of Godzilla beating the monster and then just turning around and wrecking shit in Tokyo, it's like,
right.
Well, yeah, that's what Godzilla's going to do after he beats the big bad monster.
Not gonna lie, if it had that more like comedic road style trip where like, God damn it, why can't we just stop avoiding this thing? If it had that comedy tone, that would have worked actually.
Yeah, no,
like
it would have.
The monster's like all defeated. He's like, Godzilla gets up and they're like, yay, Godzilla, our savior, and then he just turns around and just starts killing people.
Oh, come on!
Like, that would have been actually legit.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, come on! And they're running again.
The way that I would end this, to respect this movie's tone, so they're not like celebrating Godzilla, is one, you don't have him celebrating Godzilla. Two, you have him go back through the city, causing more damage.
Yeah.
Not that he's actively trying to destroy the city.
Right.
He
It's
just
just
wants
in
to
his
head in
way.
that
But,
direction.
but that's
Yeah,
just it. They had him clapped so close to the coast that it's like...
Exactly.
But and see, that... But I can kind of get your point. Like, he should have headed it back out to sea, just in a different vector, like, taking out, like, 3 buildings in the process.
Exactly.
Would have been perfect.
Exactly, and they shouldn't have celebrated, because what you need to do is you need to strike that balance where he's a force of nature. Yeah, sure, he's not he's not giving us any malice, but on the other hand, not going to do us any favors.
No,
honestly, I would have like really dug it. It's like different vector, and what a perfect moment. You just like they're not sure how to react. They just watch his foot come down on the Ghirardelli factory. It's like done.
No more Ghirardelli?
Or worse, he destroys a shawarma shop.
That reference would have worked.
That
too.
actually would have been a really funny little
'Cause
jab, I think.
And,
That
like-
would have been 2 years after the Avengers, so it would still be fresh enough in people's minds.
And you know what they could have done, which would have been a hilarious callback.
What's that?
Like, so I don't know how familiar you are with San Francisco, but they actually they have a Japanese garden there. Like, and it's like stuff that something to do with their relationship with Japan. Like, things were donated from Japan for the place. So like, how amazing would it be if you just have this person watching from like the gift shop tea thing, whatever, in the center of that Japanese garden. Everything's destroyed from there to the coast, and he's just watching Godzilla walk away from this Japanese like themed perspective in San Francisco. Like, beautiful.
Awesome.
Oh my god! You know what would have made it perfect?
What's that?
You make it somehow. Don't explain it. Don't be anything. It's that kid and his family from Hawaii.
It all comes full circle.
Yeah, like, you don't explain it. There's not, like, you have no idea how they got there, but there they are.
I guess. Well, in all fairness, I mean, if you're going to evacuate Hawaii, San Francisco would be a good port to land the evacuees. It's just that it so happens to be the exact spot the monsters were going.
Well, yeah, and they were kind of tracking the vectors, so they probably wouldn't have done that. Then again, I don't know where else you're going to send them if you're in Hawaii trying to evacuate people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of literally in the middle of the Pacific.
Yeah.
There's really nowhere else to go. I mean,
Yeah.
you could try to go to Japan, I guess.
No, I mean, no. There's closer things to Japan from Hawaii, like
Like the Philippines or
Guam. I think is probably closer.
Yeah.
Not that Guam could hold all the evacuees, but
No.
you get my point.
Yes. Yeah.
I think Samoa. Yeah, just say.
Yeah, for sure. But overall, how's this, like, after revisiting it again, I mean, how's it holding up for you guys? Like, because for me, again, it's not perfect, but it's, I think, serviceable was the word you used, Mike, and for me, that's what it is.
I don't know when I use that word.
Upon rewatching it, I really do enjoy, the opening part of the movie, though I agree with Mike. I would have liked them having made Godzilla more central. Like, he needed to be talked about. He needed to be more central. But I thought the opening's pretty decent. But I stand by there is an hour in the middle there that you just, like, no.
Don't care.
Yeah, like, no. Like,
well, there is one thing in that, like, lull, but I think it's arguably the one point where it finally starts picking up again, and it's let them fight.
Well, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the movie basically telling us you can pay attention again. Things are going to get interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I'm still not. No, I won't revisit this movie again.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, look, I have not watched it since theaters. And honestly, like, watching it again now, it's like, okay, like, that did what it did. I don't need to watch this, particularly because as I think Mike's agree with me, it's like, if I want to go watch a Godzilla movie now, King of the Monsters, like, I got something. Like, I have a Godzilla movie that works for me.
For sure.
I mean,
and if you want to see like a Godzilla movie that's actually quality filmmaking, you have still plenty of options. You know, Shin Godzilla is very well made. The 1954 movie, I don't understand why people don't call that an all-time modern classic.
Oh,
not
for
modern,
sure.
Obviously, but all-time classic.
I can understand with Shin Godzilla, unfortunately, as much as I love it, I can get why American audiences, unfortunately, would be like,
Right.
And it's because of the way the visuals and the effects are done. Like, unfortunately, Americans can be a little snobby with that.
I think it's a lot harder for a lot of American audiences to really connect with a story that is so quintessentially wrapped up in Japanese politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is fundamentally a political thriller that happens to have Godzilla in it.
Yes.
And
in all fairness, though, as a American introduction to the public, is this movie effective, at least in that sense?
It is Godzilla. He is on screen. He does Godzilla things. If that's enough for an introduction, I guess, but I don't think it does a good job of introducing the tone and the aesthetic of the franchise as a whole.
The one thing I will give this movie credit for, and it's not even the movie I'm giving credit, this had such a good ad campaign to it.
That's
It got enough people out to the theaters opening weekend for them to greenlight not one, but 2 sequels.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Props to the marketing department. Like, you did your job.
They did their job. I mean, if you notice, we probably spent a good solid third of the whole movie talking about the marketing campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the trailer for Comic-Con was epic. The actual trailer was epic. The poster was amazing.
Yep.
Like, all of that stuff was really fucking cool. I mean, you guys have probably been listening on YouTube, have probably been staring at the fucking poster for ages now. But, yeah, dude, it was all awesome. And honestly, for me, I get that, we should have gotten more. But at least as far as, like, a casual fan of Godzilla, for me, this was serviceable enough for a start. I'm like, okay, we're on a track now. Let's get this train rolling.
Right.
You know, and I think the next movies are going to cover that. So,
the next movies are so much better.
And we're going to be back again next week with some more MonsterVerse stuff for the rest of Kaijun. That's Kaijun, you guys. It's the month of June, and it's Kaiju.
Yeah.
I think they get it.
We'll be back again for Kong Skull Island, which is actually might be probably my favorite of the ones so far. Maybe I'm gonna determine that myself when I see it again. So I guess we'll see all 3 of us next week, because I know I can't keep Mike away from any kaiju movie at all. So he's gonna be with us all month long for Kaiju.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. So that being said, I've been Tim.
I've been Sean.
Skronk!
And you'll never have to watch a movie alone again. Peace.